Hollifield, and welcome to Last Man Standing. And they just said, "Welcome, you are alive." And you probably dismissed my first sentence, which was unimportant because I'm just saying hi. But here we go. We have Joe Dog and Bill standing around back screen. And uh, I don't know what Joe's waving at me about, but he just went offline for a minute. And just just hang on.
I'm out of here. All right, out of here.
All right.
Good night. Night.
Oh, okay. I'm listening to two different channels at the same time. So, anyway, welcome to Last Man Standing. We're part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, and I will play a Rising Tide commercial here in a little bit. I'm just a tad flustered because I am trying to cope with being on one channel that is ending and this channel which is beginning, and it's time for us to just play the theme music and get started with tonight's episode, which is not a psychotic episode, but it could be, so stay tuned. Hey, and like I said before, I rudely interrupted John. Welcome to Last Man.
No, you
Oh, I can tell this is going to be a fun night. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the show. Let's see what kind of insanity we can get up with. Here's John, and we have the artistic Bill Sarton.
The ever lovely artistic Bill Sarton.
Hey, goes without saying. Oh.
Why is everyone's head bigger than mine?
Glad I don't have any controls.
Oh, well, I don't have any controls either. That's the problem. And especially when I need a mute button and ain't nobody got one. At least on the other show, they can cut me off.
I need to say this real quick. You said that this was not going to be a psychotic episode. And I was like, why is this one going to be different?
Well, I said it's not necessarily going to be one, but usually the best ones are. So,
trying to figure out. So I keep sitting back and my head's like this small, and then y'all's heads are like, that.
Our cameras are closer. That's all.
I didn't shave it. I have had this horrible problem ever since I got back from Iraq.
Laziness.
That too. But just my skin breaks out so easily every time I shave.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's just from the dry. When I was in Iraq, everything was dry and you were constantly dehydrated, drinking water all the darn time.
Yeah, I had that problem. I found a way to get over it.
We're waiting. Oh,
just not shave. Believe me.
John, you probably ought to use a
you don't have to see my
moisturizer.
triple chins either.
I've been trying. I've tried everything for this. I've tried the latest thing. I'm using shaving cream with aloe vera, and I've been using Nivea shave balm afterwards, and it's still breaking out like crazy.
Oh, if you ever locate a supply of the Nivea antiperspirant, let me know, because I love that stuff. But Lindsay and I have to order it from Germany. We can't get it in the U.S. There's all kinds of other Nivea products. Oh, we can get it in England, which is where I was introduced to it. But hey Ace, sorry about that. I get so self-absorbed.
Hey, how did I wind up with admin ability on your show, Dave or Dan?
Because we're using Joe Dog's.
Okay, so
channel.
This is still the same after show.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. Joe Dog decided that it was.
I was about to say, I'm not supposed to have all these buttons on Dan's show.
Well, Joe Dog decided it was much easier and much simpler to go ahead and have several of us be admins on his account than for me to go ahead and go for the pro account and re-admin all the folks that
okay. Let me explain something. When Joe found out about StreamYard a year and a half ago, okay, he started playing around. He got you don't back then. You didn't have to sign up. You didn't pay money to be on StreamYard. You could get a basic account.
Mm-hmm.
Joe was so impressed with StreamYard that he decided to go ahead and pay the $20 a year or whatever it was for a full account. And that's where his show and this show came from, was he has a full paid account.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Now, I've got the basic account because I bought it. You only get 40 hours a month or something like that with the basic account.
I'm not sure, but it is something that Joe Dog and you and I had used up in no time.
Yeah, we used up the 40 hours in no time. That we did 4 hours on the tornado show, so that was a tenth of it gone in one night.
Yeah, but the thing is that that little taste was enough for Joe to go, yeah. Hey, this is worth the money.
Now, at the time, I went and got an account, and I told Joe, you use your 40 hours, and then we'll use my 40 hours, and that'll give us 80 hours a month. That should be enough to do the shows, like that. But Joe went ahead and got the full account, which is unlimited. You can broadcast 24/7 if you wanted to, if you can stay awake that long.
Well, he used it to good effect during the virtual Hallowcon.
Lean to your right just a little bit, please. She's my favorite Doctor Who companion. So
mine too.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
you have a thing,
and it's signed too, John.
Ooh.
Yep, she signed it.
Yes. Anyway, so Joe has a full account, and he started both of the shows. He started this one and the after show on the full accounts. And so eventually he got tired of staying up that late because his wife was trying to kill him, and his pets were trying to kill him. One or the other. I'm not sure which. But Anyway, he decided he didn't want to stay up this late and do the show, so he just does his stupid o'clock show and then turns it over to Dan to do the after show, which is now Last Man Standing. And we already did that. Anyway.
Which I always said should have been called Last Dan Standing.
Last Man Standing. It's because there is in fact a TV show called Last Man Standing with what's his name? Buzz Lightyear.
Tim Allen.
Thank you, Tim Allen. Isn't it funny how all the shows he's been on, the only way I can remember him is Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear. From To Infinity and Beyond.
I did like Home Improvement a lot. He was funny in that.
Strange enough, he was not my favorite character on Home Improvement. That's it's
Wilson.
Yeah, it's almost like Tim Allen was like the centerpiece for this wheel of much better characters around him. It's like he was the hub for all the spokes of much better characters. So it's not that he's a bad character himself, but just
no, not at all. And he's not bad at just doing stand-up either. But
well, wait a minute. What is this Ace is saying? Ace, you're gonna have to explain this one.
He saw Kiss last night.
Kiss the Rock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Does that
I have not seen them in decades, to be honest.
The surviving members are starting to tour.
What survive? They're all surviving.
No.
Well, but there's only two in the group.
Oh, well, I mean, they're all. I don't think any of them have died, have they?
No.
I thought one of them had.
Who?
No. Eric Carr, the replacement when Peter Criss left the first time, he died.
Yeah, he didn't count.
But Peter Criss. Yeah, Peter Criss and Ace Frehley are still here, but they were
Stanley
fired.
And Gene Simmons are still there.
Mm-hmm.
Now
I saw them in '96 in Terre Haute, Indiana, during the Kiss reunion tour, and that did have all four original members.
I got pissed off with Kiss because I went and saw their last tour on Earth. I've got the T-shirt from their last tour on Earth, and the year after that, they started another tour.
Mm-hmm. Chris, get in here.
Yeah, where's Chris Walker? Chris Walker, get your butt in here.
Yeah, really.
Your fan club demands it.
Mm-hmm.
Fan club, hell, I demand it.
The king has spoken.
Somebody's got to make me, look like I actually know what I'm doing here.
King Dan the First. Oh wait, do we have to send him a link?
You might.
Well, I got to do everything, don't I? Hang on.
Well, you don't have to. I just don't have him on my friends list.
You need to fix that problem.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Joe's.
He's your friend too, you jackass. Anyway, let's see here, Chris.
I'll wear that with pride. Thank you.
All right. Not when. Hey, there's Chris. How is Chris Walker at the top of my search?
Gosh. You typed a C and
no, I just don't get on. I just don't get onto the internet that much anymore. That's what it is. Then I'll tell you how pathetic my life is. The last search I did was for Chris Walker, so I could send him a link to another show last week.
Hey,
ooh. Wait! I got to bring this up because this is actually interesting. H. Freeland, excuse me, and Alice Cooper are touring together, which
that would be cool,
wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, and Alice is still going strong. Let me tell you. Ace, you want to come in the show?
Ace, you get in here too. I don't have aces. I don't have any. You'll have to do Ace, Dan.
I might have Ace.
I don't know that that is an issue that I have to correct. As soon as he gets in here, I'll see if I can find him.
Let me turn on the right keyboard.
Yeah, that would help.
Well, I'm sorry. I've got 3 computers hooked up to the same damn keyboard, and I have to select. Wait a minute. That didn't work. Yeah, it did. Did it?
I don't have Ace as a friend on my Facebook, so I can't message him stuff yet. I suppose I could look it up, huh? Let's see. I don't do a lot of Facebook searching, strangely enough.
There we go. I think I got you. Yeah.
If he didn't, I did. So.
I don't play around with Messenger that much. I use it mostly to keep in touch with my kids and the Aphelion staff for the magazine and some of the writers that I know. And I keep having to kick off all these groupies. You know, I'm married. I don't need teenage girls.
Let's try that one then. I just sent Ace a friend's request. So if it works, I'll send him a show status here.
Well, hopefully I just sent him the correct. Oh, there's Josh.
Hi, right. Josh.
It's my show. I'm in control now.
Yep.
Don't have to wait on Joe Dog to do all this stuff. So. Hey, if you get 5 people with ops in a channel, you're going to have 5 different people trying to do the same thing at the same.
Anyway,
oh man.
Oh,
Hey, Dan, be careful what you wish for at the beginning of the show.
I have ops, so I pulled Dan off the stream. Sorry, Dan. I just couldn't resist.
Hey, it's almost after midnight. I could. Hey, wait a minute. Tell me how you shifted me from one side to the other there.
You grab the picture that you're in and move it to the other
position.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you could do that. Thank you.
Grab and pull.
Yeah.
I won't go into further details.
I believe I have said something similar to one of my acquaintances.
Grab and pull. I've already had a shower tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I wouldn't mind having another one later.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, and they are always in charge.
Last beer standing. I didn't realize I was out of beer. This is literally my last beer of the night.
What are you drinking tonight there, Joe?
This is Sam Adams. This is the Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Oh, Sam Adams? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is one of their tastier. They have 4 beers every year that I habitually buy. The Oktoberfest. Then they'll here in the next few months they'll have the Winter Lager. Then they have the Cold Snap, which is like their spring beer, I guess.
Yeah.
Then they have their Summer Ale, which is the lemon flavored. And then they go back to this one. Now, what's funny is
that Summer Ale. I love that Summer.
Oh, I love Summer Ale. Yeah, that's.
Well, evidently you need to lay in a larger supply.
No, just it's Wednesday, or well, it's Thursday. But I should have gone to buy beer this morning.
Okay. Evidently your Kroger doesn't have delivery, so.
Well, actually, it was Engels, and as far as I know, no, they don't have delivery. Food Lion does, and they're actually closer. But we have.
You need a Benny's.
We have 3 grocery stores in Ringgold. Mm-hmm. We have an Ingles grocery. We have a Food Lion. And then there's a small mom and pop place. It's like I can't even remember what the heck place it's called. But it's one of those little old country grocery stores that when you walk in, the first thing you smell is the meat department. You know.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully it's not like
fish.
No, it's not like one of the old grocery stores in
It is
One of the
exactly
neighbors.
one of the old grocery stores. The whole place smells like chitlins. Yeah, it's
Yep. Well, that's what ours is. It smells-
Chitlins would have been an improvement over the one I'm thinking of. Thankfully, that store has closed and reopened under new management after a
I'm sitting here right now trying to remember
Clorox
what the name of that darn hang on, let me see. United Grocery Outlet is what it's called.
Well,
I can never remember the name.
Well, I think that's actually who runs or owns or runs or whatever the Food Land. It's called Food Land. That's the store name.
Oh, okay.
That's that little one that I was telling you.
That looks like the one right here by me. It's 4 miles down the road.
They've actually got stuff in stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mine stays in stock. They have the best meat department. I mean everything.
They've got one of this place has one of the old school meat departments that if you go in and you tell them, hey, who has venison? Well, Carl shot a deer. I think we can get some of that in here.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's how this one is.
That's the kind of place I would love to have around here.
I mean,
unfortunately, it just happens to be the furthest from my home of the 3 grocery stores I just defined. So,
well, you ain't driving after you've had a drink. I'll let you know right now. I ain't allowing it. I don't want you to get a ticket.
I'm pretty sure they closed at 8:00 in the evening.
Yes,
and won't open until 8 a.m.
John, the same way this one does. It closes at 8.
Strange enough, they're right next to. I want to say it's not a Big Lots. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Great. Now I got to go look at the map again.
Well, this one's got our little shopping center.
Well, John, you need to start buying your beer at Big Lots. I mean, get a whole pallet at a time.
Man. Actually, I bought a case of 28 beers at Costco. That's the last of them.
And that was several days ago.
Yes, it was. I'm sorry. It's right next to the Dollar Tree. There's a very large Dollar Tree down there in Ringgold.
Well, at our little corner.
Our Dollar Tree is the size of small Big Lots. It's
right.
Big.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Same as ours.
Right at our corner, we got a DG, the grocery store on the other side. There's a Mexican joint.
Hey, that sounds suspiciously like this plaza. If you say Chinese restaurant and a bakery,
no, there's no, not yet, at least. But
hey, you're working on it.
Oh, and guess what?
Actually, believe it or not, they're about to start serving actual whiskey this week. So I mean, margaritas and stuff. So how they got that passed, I don't know.
See if I can show you all this. Is it on? Okay,
and a Subway across the street.
All right. Okay, there's that grocery outlet, and I said Dollar Tree. It is now a Fred's. That tells you how quickly things change.
Oh, our Fred's are all gone down here.
There's a little Mexican restaurant. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see here. The Chinese place appears to be gone, unless there's the bakery I was telling you all about.
Yeah, that's a lot bigger than what I got down here.
Okay. What the heck? What the heck is that? I've never heard that place before.
It looks like a pay list, but I can't read it.
No, Murray's?
More? I was about to say.
Anyway, there's the Mexican place. This is downtown Ringgold, for those of y'all who don't know.
All 3 acres of it.
Yeah, let's see. There's the sign system. There, and just so you know. Wait a minute. Oh, heck. No, I'm sorry. We don't have any stoplights.
You're making me dizzy.
Yeah, we don't have. We got a flashing light where I live.
The train station's down that direction, and then
John's
take it
doing
back.
donuts in the parking lot.
Let me take it back. We got a
What the
four-way
heck is
stop.
that?
Hell, that looks like that. You sure
Yeah.
you don't live in the
There's
same
John's
neighborhood?
house.
I'm clicking on the map, and it for some reason it keeps moving around pictures and stuff.
Type in Foster's, Alabama. I promise you it'll look the same.
All right, there we go. That's my problem right there. All right, there we go. And then there's the Dollar Tree. That's where all that stuff was. Okay. We have a Raphael's. I think everybody has a Raphael's.
Nope.
Nope.
Ringgold Feed and Seed Antiques.
So much for that logic.
Antique feed and seed. Yeah, if you want to get
I've
stuff for
got
your horses that was made in 1923, this is the place to go.
I do have a feed and seed down here, though, but it's not that one.
Yeah. We got a couple of them around here. I used to have to drive the dump truck to them to unload the corn and whatever else we were selling to them so that they could make their own brand of dog food.
All right. For those of y'all who don't, that is the train depot here in Ringgold. And the reason that I mention that is every year about this time, they start decorating the place up for Halloween, and it is the haunted depot. So if you're ever passing through Ringgold, that's actually kind of cool to see this time of year.
I was about to say.
Everybody says right now, I know exactly what everybody's saying. Why the hell would I be passing through Ringgold? Well, because I-75 is right freaking there. That's why.
Yeah, really. I'm on my way to someplace else. Yeah. Actually, from everything I've seen,
see if you can bring up Foster's, Alabama. See if it brings up the street.
Foster's, Alabama. Do they have Google? That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. See, you're near what was it?
It'd be on I-20.
They don't even have electricity.
Yeah, I'm running off generator right now.
Foster, Alabama. I'll be darned. I type in Foster, and the first thing pops up: Foster, Alabama.
It's alphabetical.
Hey.
The next
You're
thing
on the
is
other side of Tuscaloosa from us.
Foster Lager or beer.
I believe that's a different kind of backwards place.
Yeah,
really.
Are you talking about the Gateway Foodland?
Yeah, it used to be Gateway. Now it's Foodland. It's straight Foodland. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to share this with everybody, don't I?
Probably would be nice.
But that's the one little store. That's the one little store. That's the one little supermarket we got. That's the one little stoplight we got. Well, it's a four-way stop now. It's not.
What? Oh, hey, there is a stoplight. I'll be done. Well, it's like
it's only a two-thing
stoplight. It's not an actual three-thing stop.
Not now. It's a four-way stop.
Is it now? Okay.
There's a Subway right there in that gas station, and that right there across the street, right there that's a feed and seed, and to the left of that's the Subway, and there's a.
Hey, wait! They got a Mexican grill. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I told you there's a Mexican restaurant over there.
All right.
Post office is right there. So that's the little corner.
I see they roll up the sidewalks after dark.
No kidding.
Yes.
I don't think they unrolled them in the morning.
No.
Only on election day.
Hey, it's right off of I-59.
Yeah.
That's like the greatest thing that ever came out of Alabama.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead. Come on with it.
Oh.
Did you know that the toothbrush was invented in Alabama?
Mm-mm.
Because if it had been invented anywhere else, it'd have been called a teeth brush.
Yeah. He's coming at me hard tonight.
We are going to get so banned.
Let me grab this.
Only in
bottle.
Alabama. Everyone else is going to laugh hysterically.
Let me grab this bottle over here so I can go at. Let me go at John here for a little bit.
Give him hell.
Uh,
Oh, and I
just
guess
so you know,
Chris and Ace don't want to join us tonight.
just so you know, the U.S. military's aviation school for all the helicopter pilots
is Fort Rucker,
is
Alabama.
Fort Rucker, Alabama, which, strange enough, if you ever watch John Boy and Billy, is down near Dothan, Alabama. Okay.
I know exactly where that is.
But it's kind of funny that everyone that ever goes through U.S. Army aviation training gets ragged on for having learned in Alabama. Okay. And it's kind of funny. You'll get these helicopter pilots that'll come out and get you the briefing about what to do on board their helicopter while they're, what's going on, everything. This is what all these really professional super dude crew chiefs and stuff like that will come out and tell you, this is a CH-47D, this is how you do it, and if we do this, you make sure your seatbelt works like that. And they're just like, didn't you guys go through school in Alabama? No. Yes.
My dad said the same thing about going through Fort Bend.
Hey, I had a brother in the military who was A, in the Marines, B, a helicopter crew chief. Okay. There is no end to the jokes about this guy's military career. Let me tell you.
I was about to say they all best each other. It's all.
We were joking one day. I pulled out a pack of forms I had in one of my boxes around here, and it's 24/4s, which is the maintenance form that you do maintenance on every piece of equipment in the U.S. Army. I was like, hey, what do they call 24/4s in the Marine Corps? And he told me whatever the Marine Corps version of the paperwork was and stuff like that. Says, we had to fill ours out in black ink. Says, how do you fill out a 24/4 in crayon? And
you sharpen it really, really fine.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, Halloween is coming up. I could get my brother some crayons for Halloween.
What's he hungry?
Yep.
That was just a shot in the dark.
No, it wasn't. No, it was that was one of those perfectly. You're looking through the scope and the crosshair is right on the guy's neck, and you're like, "Yeah, he's gonna kill that son of a bitch." Okay.
You had a laser just dead on.
When I was in Iraq, we had this one room that you had to have a certain security clearance to get into, and they had this big screen monitor that you could watch what's going on, and it was tied on to every Predator feed that the U.S. military had going at the same time, so you could watch your Predator drone watching your area or whatever, and you could sit in there for radio, and you could tell people on the ground what the Predator was seeing. Okay. Well, the thing was, we didn't do any of that, but we had the ability to do it. So instead of watching any Predator, we never had a Predator assigned to us, but we could look at everybody else's Predator that was on the network. So you could tie into every Predator feed that was out there. And we were literally watching the Special Forces guys like target people in Iraq and Afghanistan. And the thing is, once you're part of the satellite network, you can see if there's some guy out in Nevada that's training on how to fly a Predator,
you can watch it.
You can watch him training on how to fly a Predator. Yeah. Well, somebody has to be in this room at all times for various reasons. And I was in there one day just doing my paperwork and everything. And we were just flipping through the network, watching all these different predator feeds, and we tried to find the ones closest to us to see what was going on right around our base, which is a good thing to know. And just what, and there were these like 5 guys sitting out in front of a bicycle repair shop of all things. And somebody was flying a predator, was orbiting a predator around this bicycle repair shop, just watching these 5 guys. And it turns out it was a bomb factory. That they were using some of the stuff in this bicycle repair shop, the machine stuff, to build bombs. And we were sitting here, and we were sitting here watching it, wondering, why do they keep watching these 5 guys? And it just never, until finally somebody, a truck pulls up, and right when the truck pulls up, all 5 of these guys jump up, grab a bunch of stuff out of this bomb repair, or this bicycle repair facility, that they've been making roadside bombs.
I'm about to say making pipe bombs of it.
No. What they were making was this really nasty stuff called a explosively formed penetrator, which is a big copper plate with a bunch of explosives behind it. When it fires, it turns into a jet that's like a giant blowtorch. It'll burn through just about any armor the U.S. military has if they're big enough. And they would cluster these things together to try and take out military vehicles. And they brought out a bunch of these things they had built in this bicycle repair shop, loaded them on this truck, and took it off down the road. It got about 500 yards down the road before a missile came screaming in and took the whole damn thing out and just blasted the hell out of it. And then we went back, we were sitting there looking at the truck like, oh, God, that just blew the hell out of that thing. And all of a sudden the Predator, eases back down to the bicycle repair shop. There must have been 100 guys busting this place. You had all 5 guys on the ground. There were people standing around with rifles, checking the place out, people going through the place, just, tearing all the paperwork and everything else out of it, looking for explosives and everything else. That's like, we're just sitting here watching, it's like it's an HBO special or something.
That's it. And that's one thing that kills. We ain't supposed to talk politics. It's 11:30, but we have no feet on the ground in Afghanistan now. But
yeah, we do.
Yeah, I know we do. But
yeah, we do. We got all sorts of feet.
Yeah, I know we do. But
we got Afghan feet on the ground.
No, from what I understand, we got a lot of other folks in the ground. It's just they're not what they're doing their job, and they're not getting on the CNN.
Yeah, not what we had. We'll put it that way. But that BS strike Biden did a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, the over horizon crap he's calling it. I mean, it's
the one that killed the innocent people. Are you talking about?
Okay.
Yeah.
Innocent people.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Supposedly they were.
They still ain't named any. I mean,
it doesn't make them innocent. Just makes them.
Well, I know it don't make them innocent.
And supposedly the person in charge has already apologized for it, according to the drive-by media.
Hey, those people that were in that bicycle shop I was just describing were innocent at the time.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can't tell.
Using the word innocent for anything over there is subjective.
Yeah.
What it means is you didn't catch them killing somebody. That's what innocent.
Yeah, I was about to say a snap moment's notice, you can't do it. I mean, you don't know. So, but
one of our biggest.
Who they got in charge right now? I just do not trust. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't trust them.
When we went into Iraq,
McKenzie.
Yeah. When we went into Iraq was ruled by the Ba'ath Party. Okay, which is big political party. Saddam Hussein was in charge also.
Shiite.
But most of the Ba'ath Party was in Iraq, but a good chunk of them were in Syria. Okay. We basically took out the part that was in Iraq, but the part in Syria was still supporting them. That's why I had so much trouble in Iraq. A lot of people were like, "Oh, there weren't any weapons of mass destruction." Yeah, there were. They just all got shipped to Syria.
Yeah.
And we would bust people when I was stationed in Iraq. We would go out and do these raids, bust people with the weapons. Like you'd find, literally, you go into their homes, you'd find explosives and 155 artillery rounds and all the stuff they were using to make roadside bombs.
Well, I was about to say they found mustard gas and all kinds of crap up there.
Caught them
Nobody
dead to
ever.
rights. What we knew you were making bombs. We found all the stuff. You're going to prison for the rest of your life. They'd be in jail for 24 hours, and a Syrian lawyer would show up to try and bail them out. Okay. That was the sort of stuff we were having to put up with in Iraq. Was every time, and they try and get it, they tell these guys, just surrender, let the Americans arrest you, we'll fight it out in court. And sure enough, that's what we'd wind up. We'd arrest these guys, we had them dead to rights for terrorism, but they'd take them to the Iraqi courts because the courts were so, what would be the right word?
Crooked?
No, not crooked.
No, they just had they was on back.
The courts had only just been reestablished by as interim courts.
Yeah, and they
didn't have any experience.
They had the Shiite and Sunni stuff going on,
and these high paid lawyers would come out of Syria saying, "Oh, the Americans didn't, have a search warrant. This is the U.S. military. We don't have to have a search warrant. We catch you with bombs. We just blow the place up. Yeah, and you're lucky to be alive. Praise Allah." And and they'd wind up, these guys that we had thrown into prison and such like that were out in 2 weeks, just because some Ba'ath Party lawyer that had gotten hired to come in, and they have their high-powered lawyers over there too, same as we have here. So
sounds like another court system we're familiar with.
Yep.
Yeah, United States.
And, that's our biggest export is our legal system.
Yep. Sad thing.
Hi, Nick.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Nick. What we got here?
Hey, Nick. Where are you at? Get in here, boy. Do I need to send him a darn thing too?
If you'd be so kind.
Yeah,
I will
Nick,
try.
Come on in here and talk about the Australian situation.
Well, yeah, the Chinese warned the Australians about nuclear weapons somewhere, but I didn't catch the details.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Or if I got Nick as a friend or not.
I can send him one.
And then I click the wrong button, which is always fun.
Button. Who's got the wrong button? Yeah. Why is there never a big red button?
No. They're basically in concentration camps in Australia right now on their lockdowns. But I shouldn't mean that. Let me rephrase that. Sorry.
There, I just sent him one.
I'm talking about another country. I don't think that should hurt us. So.
Nick, I sent it to your Facebook Messenger, if you're wondering.
Yeah, they got flipped. I need to start.
So what happened?
You're going to get us in trouble, Josh.
Yeah.
Do what?
I don't think you're going to get us in trouble.
Okay. I need to start a political podcast.
Gee, there's none of those around. That's for sure.
Well, mine would be just a little bit different.
Nah, it wouldn't.
That's what the others said.
It'd be pretty much the same.
No, we'd just sit here and drink and talk politics.
Oh, you don't want me to talk politics.
Well, let's drink and talk cartoons then. What the hell? Can we get in trouble for that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Dick Tracy, I forgot.
Yeah,
you did get in trouble for a cartoon.
Yeah,
really.
Well, I didn't, but my friend did. And so how I got around the Facebook bots was I went ahead on his channel where he was able to put the same cartoon on there, and I just copied the link and then put it on my channel that way, and that somehow or another flew under the radar of the bots because I didn't think it was going to work. I figured they were going to tag me too, but they didn't.
I hope you're ready, Nick.
Hi, guys.
What's up, Nick?
I can only hop on for a while because my son is in the tub, so that's why I've got one ear open.
Okay.
One ear open,
no problem.
One ear closed. All right. What's up with Australia, buddy? I know what's going on.
Now, see, one thing I tell people to do is watch international news if you want to talk about it, because like certain news agencies in America are slanted one way, certain news agencies are slanted the other way, and it's a spectrum. But none of them really want to talk about things from a perspective that isn't necessarily American focused. And this is really...
I have two favorite news agencies, Reuters and Al Jazeera.
Al Jazeera. I was going to wait that. See, I watch news geographically. So I watch it on YouTube. It's called China in Focus. It's the New Tang Dynasty, which is basically a non-communist propaganda independent news network that focuses on events in China. And I watch the Russian, there's something like Russian Focus or In Focus Russia or something like that. That
In Focus Russia.
That, it's pro-Russian spin, but when you realize that that's the angle of the propaganda, it's very easy to process actual facts out of that. It's like, oh, it's this bullshit filter. You get what I'm saying? Pardon my French, but that's the easiest way to explain it.
Hey, really enough, you can get away with it.
Right. Right now, China has become incredibly active in attempting to expand its borders geographically, and they've been on a major military buildup. So, in response, all the nations around China have been building up, including Japan, Taiwan, poor Taiwan, and, of course, Australia. Now, something really big happened, and it wasn't discussed. We have actually shared our nuclear submarine technology, not nuclear weapons, but nuclear subs with Australia. So Australia just got from the U.S. 8 fast attack subs.
6.
Is it 6? I thought it was 8 because I thought it was 2 more than what the Chinese Navy had.
Yet. We got to build them first.
Yeah, I must say, yeah. That's why we
okay.
got away.
But
that's why we got away from the deal built from France.
Well, what I'm saying, what's interesting is China recently released a statement to Australia saying that previously there was no nuclear weapon system targeting Australia. They were not on the mutual assured destruction list because they just weren't interesting enough to be mutually assured. And China has informed them that should they continue with the alliance they're on, some parties who we will not name will add them to the list. So this is going on. Now, why does this matter? Well, one of the major corporations in China, I believe it's called Evergrande, is a real estate organization, a big, big company, and it's set to fail next week, potentially.
Yeah, I was about to say in the next 2 weeks at least.
And there are 2 hard deadlines coming up. And the next one is Thursday, and I think the next one is a Friday after that. The problem is that could send ripples and take out about a third of the Chinese, between a quarter and a third of the Chinese economy, which is going to ripple out to us because, things are going to get weird. So when you have a nation that's about to take a big financial hit, there are only a few things it can do. It can call in markers for everybody who owes China, or go to war. And they've been doing, I think they've known some things are coming because they're doing a lot of saber rattling. Plus, and I've been tracking this for a few months now, actually, a couple of years, China has been quietly buying up property and lithium mines and a few other places in Africa, especially the Sudan, and in South America. So basically, China's trying to sort of follow the British Empire model, but economically. So there's some really fascinating things going on geopolitically that if you look at China rearing up and getting this ugly, suddenly the idiotic, because it was dumb how it was handled, the exfil on Afghanistan suddenly warping with us getting out of there, suddenly starts to make that gives a reason. It may not be a good reason, but what it feels like to me is we're pulling our forces to reconsolidate in case we need them. If because China is, it depends who you talk to whether it's a superpower or not. It's between being an emerging superpower and an actual superpower, and there's a good chance of essentially a new Cold War with us and China, and that's going to destabilize things and make things really hinky for our buddy Vlad in Russia. So it's one of those, we don't hear about that on American news. And this isn't like I'm through shortwave craziness, because Lord knows there's enough of that out there. But you look at like the BBC, you look at them and you hear what they're talking about that concerns them, because they're going to be pretty straight about what concerns them. And then you have to do a little deduction. But suddenly things that are going on make a lot more sense. Especially with some people have been talking about, China having reparations for what happened with COVID. And if countries start rallying towards that, it could get real weird again financially for China. Mm-hmm. And I think China is trying to puff up to prevent things like that, because there's a lot of things coming out about the signs of a pandemic actually hitting months before word got out about it. Because I was, and that's not, I'm not making conjecture, and it's not about, how people feel about masks and stuff. I'm not wading into that. Right now I'm worried about people I know who are dying and died. So that's my opinion on that whole subject. Like, I got to keep it small and real. Well, but it's fascinating.
I was going to say the biggest thing, Nick, the amount of treasury bonds they hold and everything that. And they own 90% of Hollywood and all the assets, and like you was saying earlier, they own property in the United States. So
they pretty much own the entire pork industry in the United States.
Yep.
You like they recently? They're probably owned by China.
Well, they recently stopped by. I watched or listened to the farm reports every day at noon, and they're a major buyer for a lot of crops, and they stopped buying just the last couple days.
They know what they're doing. They done bought up so much crap that it ain't gonna matter to them. But they're with Brazil and everybody like that.
Well, see, I think China is slated to make the same mistakes we made in the 1920s. They're over leveraged. There's no fail safes. Hey, Dan, are we losing you, bud?
Nope, not really.
Just
I'm
checking.
fine.
Sorry, I wanted to catch you before.
No,
but
it's been a long day, and I have had my little.
You a good drink?
Yeah, I've had my B12. So,
Okay.
it's just.
I'm about to go have my B12 here just a minute.
Hey, it's essential, and I thank Joe Dog for cluing me into that. And if you see any of these that have the B12 on them, they are the ones that Joe Dog recommends. It doesn't matter whether it's grape or cherry or any of the other flavors, but those are the ones that are really good against waking up with a hangover the next day.
That needs to be a sponsor of the show.
It really should. It really should.
And, write them a letter. Shoot them an email like, we're talking about this. We're looking for sponsors. We like your product. The worst they can say is no. They might send you a free hat, I mean,
we don't want your money. We just want a lifetime supply.
Yeah.
Just send me the good stuff, man. No, it's just
a pomegranate. That's the good stuff. No.
I watch, and what gets me annoyed is I can agree or disagree with somebody politically, and I am an issue by issue guy. So that means at some point I will piss you off because, I know, I'm not a flag waver. I'm going to go, I agree with this. I don't agree with this. I may have voted for this guy, but I will protest against what he's doing the next day if I don't like it.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
How's your kid?
He's okay. I've got 1 year going, and he's happy. He is actually out of the tub. So
does he look like a prune? Does he look like a prune?
No, he's 5'4". My 12-year-old son is 5'4", and he's got the same waist I had in high school. I don't understand this crud.
California raisin.
I'm 5'8".
No,
excuse me.
I'm 5'8".
Yeah.
Nick,
which means your kid is this tall.
How tall are you?
Marine Corps.
I'm 5'7.5", depending which leg I stand on. But yeah, I'm between 5'7" and 5'8", so I round it to the middle. And yeah, I got about this much, and he's, my wife's about here on me. She's 5. Yeah, because she's 5'4", he's 5'4.5", because he's just a little bit taller.
My wife is like that here.
You are both hobbits, and you gave birth to an int.
Yes. Well, now all my uncles are very, very tall. My mom was the runt of the litter, so to speak. My brothers are both taller than me. All Mandy's biological relatives were very tall. Her family adopted a lot, so I have to kind of quantitate that because,
it works.
But I got told about my because my nephew, who's 10 years older than me, we were told about the family resemblance, and I laughed because I'm like, he was adopted by her adopted brother that I married into the family. So if you can find blood in that, I'm genuinely impressed.
That's going to take a really sensitive DNA test.
Yeah,
I think Chris Walker came up with the answer.
Both of you have relatives from Europe.
Pretty much. I get in trouble when people get too political about the past because they'll lay into me and I'll go, listen. My dad fought in Vietnam. got some Purple Hearts. He did his thing. I'm incredibly proud of his service in a war nobody wanted. My grandpa proudly fought for the Allies and actually got a Bronze Star at the Battle of the Bulge. My great-grandpa fought for the Kaiser. So we weren't here for your Civil War, so you can't hold us accountable. You know, I mean, like, dude, I'm Luxembourgese. My family is Luxembourgese. I think I should get minority status.
Yep. They
It's a teeny,
absolutely.
it's a teeny tiny place.
Yeah, hey, we're bigger than two countries because we're bigger than Liechtenstein, and they can suck it, and we're bigger than the Vatican City.
You're bigger
Now, the
than
problem
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have to think about that one. I'm pretty sure we are, but you know, Vatican City doesn't count because nearly every Catholic in the world is ready to like crusade if you mess with Vatican City. So like you can't like that's apples to like, you know, bourbon. You know what I'm saying? There's a bit more processing to that whole thing.
But
bourbon, that doesn't sound too bad to me.
I might rebel with you on that one. But
if you guys wanted to know what the Borg people from Luxembourg look like, it's this right here.
Hey, you know what? That is profiling. That is inaccurate. That picture is mirrored. The thing should be on the other eye. No.
But what you said, that is not political, what you said. I mean, everybody that fought in them wars were fighting for a cause, and God bless every one of them. And
I know exactly how you feel about the height thing there, Nick. I'm 5'11", and I am the family midget.
Yeah, I'm 6'2" and shrinking every day.
I was about to say, I'm 5'11", and I'm the tallest one that was in my family. So
all of my mom's brothers were 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". My dad was 6 even. My little brother is 6'2", and I'm here 5'11", going, I hate you, motherfuckers.
Well, my dad was 5'9", and I could kind of look down on him a little bit, but he'd look up at me. And I'd whoop your ass
easily.
My granddad was about. My granddad namesake was about. I want to say 5'5" or 5. Little short guy. He used to say, you know, it's real easy when you're fighting somebody bigger, you take a baseball bat or a pickaxe or something, and you cut them down to your height, and then you put it down and fight it fair. You know?
Kneecap them. You kneecap them.
Mm-hmm. You know, the Bible says a lot of things about killing. It is fuzzy on the subject of kneecaps, folks, and I'm a proud Bronco.
I do recognize that quote. Yes, it is.
I don't think what David did to Goliath, so
yeah,
I know how to
stand back and use a ballista. Yeah.
Well, you know, another unpopular thing to say in some circles: God created man, Colonel Colt made him equal. You know.
Hey,
I'm shorter. That means I'm a smaller target. You know what I mean? Well, I'm a short, wide target. You know, a little bouncy ball, but that's okay too. You know, us weaponized hobbits are really good at running like heck. You know, you gotta understand. You know.
You just reminded me of an Ewok right there when you did that, Nick.
You are not the first
are you broadcasting from Endor tonight or what?
Well, he is indoors.
I can neither confirm nor deny that. I will just say the trick with roasting stormtroopers, you need a dry rub, you know? Hey, whenever you're barbecuing, people talk about the sauce, and I respect the sauce. The sauce is boss, but it's all about the dry rub. You gotta age the meat. I mean, where do y'all think the whole meat for that feast came on from that little thing? There weren't many critters other than Ewoks and Imperials, and there were a lot of dead Imperials.
Excuse me 1 minute. Shut up, Christian. Just to get it out of the way. Because you said dry rub and meat, so I know Christian probably fast asleep and all of a sudden woke up.
There was a disturbance in the farce. But
Yeah.
life is far too important to take it seriously, guys. But don't be anybody's fool.
There is always a question. Where did they get that dress they gave to Princess Leia?
I rub my meat too,
Was that
so
from
don't worry about it.
Dude, I'm going on being real close to being married 20 years. I am familiar
If you
with
rub
the
my
art
meat, you can pull my pork. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And folks, you don't know it, but folks, we're broadcasting live from the bottom of the gutter, where I have ascended from the sludge where my mind normally lives to hang out with these fine folks. Now, I can neither confirm nor deny anything that may or may not be said at this given point. And I want to quote, all the statements are not in agreement with management, and are those possibly held by the individuals speaking. We hold no ties to any of the corporations who may or may not support us now or later.
And speaking as management.
I got the finger in doom. You know who's spinning right now? Poor Joe Dog. Poor Joe Dog was asleep, and he's like sleeping in his little Joe Dog bed in his little Joe Dog house.
He'll come back.
And all of a sudden, I started talking, and he just starts spinning in his bed like it's his grave early. Pops up like, dang it! I'm waiting for him to hop on and like mute me off the camera. But that is okay, folks, because I won't be silenced. That better men have tried to shut me up with violence. I've aspired to speak through fat lips and bleeding gums to say the points that I have tried to bring to you, which is that there is no reason to hold back, withhold, or limit yourself. Speak your truth, speak it honestly, and if you are wrong, admit it and move on. But don't be a dick. Unless it is necessary for being a dick, and then make sure it's long and hard. But, because sometimes in this world we have to penetrate our points. And that, folks, is what, applied masculinity is about. And dang it, Joe, I'm on a diet, and dang it, John. You see, y'all don't know, it's Thursday night. Well, it's Friday now, but it's still like Thursday night for people who measure from dusk to dawn. and see, no, because up the road a bit, there's a place that has all-you-can-eat ribs. And I'm going to tell you, folks.
And chili.
Chili, and but they park they don't just park combines there. Okay, I've seen a manure spreader parked out there. I'm telling you, this is good food. This is fat farmer food, and my doctor's like, all of that needs to be about half what it is. You know what I'm saying?
You had to wind him up, didn't you? You just had to wind him up.
Hey, Bill. He comes with a self-winder.
We don't have to wind Nick up.
No.
We just have to
Nick,
open the little box we keep him in, and the wound up Nick comes rolling.
Nick's that guy on the swing. Nick's that guy sitting on the swing in the park that keeps twisting and twisting and twisting, getting himself tighter and tighter. And then next thing you know, he puts the speed up and just starts spinning.
If you pull the 6-volt battery out of a Roomba and replace it with a 24-volt battery,
that's Nick.
About half my speed after dark, folks. Now, see, I am what's called a professional broadcaster. I show up on
time.
On time, all the time, anytime. Brian K. Morrison, you need a fill-in, just drop a dime. But seriously, I'm broadcasting between 6 and 20 some odd hours a week, depending on how much time I hang out on Stupid O'Clock at any given point.
Nick, do you have a show? Do you have a show?
Yeah, he
Yes,
does.
sir.
He's got several.
Every
Do you have
Friday
the-
night, what?
Yeah. I was going to say, what time's the show?
Tell Josh about.
Every Friday night from 8 to 10, I run the Historical Fencing Guild's live stream where I try to talk about swords and sword fighting and learning and adapting and stuff, but it usually goes off the rails.
Well,
On Wednesday nights...
Hey, shoot me a friend request on Facebook.
Okay, yeah, I'll hook you up.
And
Lord, yeah.
Shoot.
If you ever need to learn anything about handling a bladed weapon, from broadaxe to sword to
Let's see.
a finely applied
He's
verbal
looking.
riposte,
No. Okay, I don't have a broadaxe
Nick's the
handy.
guy.
I got an axe trainer handy. I got here's a mid-century, early century straight saber. Here you go.
Nice.
Oh, I love that.
Nick, somebody's at the door.
Well, it's not the FBI. They're
I'm about
over
to say.
here.
Oh no! I'm not in New York. This is
that's
my favorite
really nice.
Yeah, this is a short guy sword.
I like the length on that one. That would be comfortable for me.
That's what she said.
That one is about 24. It's either 24 or 26 inches. The long one I held was 40. I mean, here you go.
Yeah,
I got a story about this knife in that I accidentally brought this knife into a gunfight and I walked away. So,
do you make them?
For those of you who don't know,
the real story is who didn't.
That was the standard Air Force survival knife.
Yes, it is. And I got it for $25 because it was on display at a hardware store that closed down. Anyway, you're saying?
Do you make them, Nick, or do you just buy them?
I used to do some forging. I'm actually setting up to do some more once I get my garage cleaned up. Nothing wrong with that. That's an assist open. I can't see because it blurred for me to tell you the maker, but
I know it, and I can't think of the name of it, or I can't read it. Let me get my glasses.
Oh, well. Hey, if it works
that's
for
all
MacGyver,
you need right there.
I mean, it's this. Y'all laugh, but this right here is the first thing that goes around my neck in the morning, and the last thing that I take off at night, right before I put my breathing mask for the Scuba Sleeper Squad on. You know?
I got the wrong glasses.
But yeah, I love this thing. I have a black one, but my wife gave me this one. It used to have really cute gears painted on it.
Yeah, I used to have a black one.
Oh yeah, I've got one of those. Actually, I have that. Shit. Pardon my French again. Y'all bring out the best.
No, you're good.
No. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get some of the heavier rust because I actually lost it. It spent a year in the dirt, and it's soaked in WD-40 right now. But yeah,
yeah. That's
what. Whew, I'll tell you what. That's called the cologne of real men. Real men smell like WD-40 or 3-in-1 oil or something like that. Although I will tolerate Old Spice.
Number 9 nitro solvent.
Oh yeah. Now see that is for man a culture. My joke is I'm too broke for that, but I do appreciate the scent and its meaning.
Ooh, your gun smells good.
When the click bang helps you bang. But yeah, but I have a channel, the Historical Fencing Guild, on YouTube, and that's where I do my weekly shows, and I put videos about how to teach Western martial arts, how to learn it in simple English.
But I'll hit you if you hit me. I'll hit you up on Facebook.
Where did that? Well, I got my book on the axe. I wrote a book on how to fight axe this year. That came out. And I have one on my main book, but it's put aside. Oh yeah, somebody borrowed it again.
Hey Chris, where you at?
But he must have had to go to the little Chris's room. I mean, these things happen, you know. I live in fear of the day that they decide there can only be one Chris, and they all get together and duke it out in the field somewhere, you know. You got Hemsworth and
If
Pine
that
and all
ever
them.
happens, I'm going to back up our Chris with a sniper rifle. Just saying.
I was
That's the
about to
thing of
say,
beauty.
yeah. I'm gonna be. I'll be on. Me and John,
Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies.
Bill, and Nick.
You got nothing to worry about. Hello, Dan. It's been a quiet, calm, sedate show while you've been gone. I've kept things in a slow, leisurely pace, befitting a southern gentleman such as yourself.
Thank you, sir.
We're one step from sitting out on the veranda, drinking our mint jolieps and watching the ladies of fine nature make their way on that evening constitutional. Of course, mind you, the ladies you see on their constitutionals at about 12:15 in the morning usually have a different occupation than the ones that most folks think of as ladies, but I'm respectful to them all, you know.
I do prefer the conversation with the ladies of negotiable affection.
Gentlemen,
Although
I got things to do.
I do
I
not
will see y'all
partake
later
in the
tonight.
wares.
See you, John.
All right, Joe.
Good night, John. And now that the
Send the invite to Chris.
I did, he's at work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that the chaperone is gone, we can cut up.
Yeah, we can talk.
Hey! Cut up is a figure of speech, Nick.
I'm innocent. Innocent. I cannot be held accountable for. I mean, I was not planning to do anything, and you can't prove it. I don't know what you're talking about. See, late I've gotten in trouble.
That's a nice little mangosh there.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. The blade's a little wonky, but for $40, I
Just
could
a little.
not.
That's nice.
Yeah, the sheath is pretty. My frog broke that I made, so I have to. It's what happens when I have to use cheap rivets because I'm out of the good copper ones. But
yeah, that's the trouble with the frogs. They often turn out to be toads.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see, like any other good frog, it surrendered. But
So your frog
Yeah.
croaked.
Yep, he was last and slowest. Well done.
Bill
You just
wins
bounced
that
right
one.
into that.
Bill won. Bill
wins
got
that
one.
round right there. Yep.
But no, I might
Just
even
proves
plan-
that I am not awake.
Hey, no, I get it. You see, if I ever stop stuttering, you gotta worry because that means I'm barely conscious. See, my brain's usually running so fast that the reason I have to be able to talk this fast is the fact that my mind is going at about 250 RPMs and my mouth likes to cruise about like 60. A lot of times I feel like a Commodore 64 plugged into a T5 line. There's just information coming and trying to spit it out as fast as I can and I overheat. That's why I got to be fat because it's heat sink.
Speed kills, Nick. I know I've told you that before, but speed kills.
But the hardest thing, the most powerful drug in my life is coffee done right. Caffeine and I have a long and bewildering affection. But other than that, nah, I don't smoke and I don't drink because I've got a bad allergy, Josh. Have I told you about my allergy, sir?
No, sir.
I have, my family has this really bad allergy to alcohol.
Don't call me sir. You making me feel old.
See, I'm
Sir,
just a
sir
generation.
means you work for a living.
Yeah. No, sir. In some circles, sir means you don't work for a living. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But and I don't mean to imply something as horrible as lieutenant status on you, because I'm sure you can find your way home in the dark. But
yes.
I am a fat civilian, but I have grown up around combat veterans to the point where I get confused when people don't think of hand grenades as social mitigation devices. I got in trouble with that as a youth because I was taught, well, I didn't pull the pin, it's fine. It was a Josh, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And back in the day, flamethrowers were just a greeting card.
Absolutely.
Party favors.
Well, you see, a bullet says has your name on it, but a flamethrower is to whom it may concern. You know, it's just it's a matter of hospitality. But like I said, it's all about the dry rub, folks. Anyhow,
Yes.
It's the difference between an intimate date and a block party.
Sorry, my mind got briefly Greco-Roman.
Yeah.
And Lord,
Hey.
please sorry, pick me down.
I had to stop for a second there
like,
on that one.
Yep. See, even though I'm moving this fast, I still have most of my relative filters on because we are online and like you got to be careful because.
Thank God we're not live.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is a private face room chat room. Isn't it?
Yeah. This is
Okay.
the gray room.
Totally.
It's like it's the gray room. It's like the green room, but only for old fogey types. And unfortunately, young, attractive women don't ever stumble their way in. Now see, the green room, you might find someone who isn't attractive, but no, we're right here. Well, okay, you're attractive, Dan. I'm sorry. I do not mean to impugn your honor.
No, I was thinking that Donna would fit in real well here.
Wow! Now, the memorial service for Dad Hollifield will be held.
Oh no, I was thinking of her as an attractive female, not somebody who's
exactly.
gray.
But they do not necessarily find this lonesome part of the internet. Part of the reason why I don't always hop on is I'll look at your watching numbers and go, well, shoot. If I'm watching this, it's not. If I hop on, it's not a live show anymore. It's just
there,
evidence.
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
What's up, buddy?
Welcome to The Walking Dead.
For those about to die,
Yeah, man.
We're
at
fine
least
until our wives wake up. Okay.
Yeah. Mine's still awake.
You're in trouble, boy.
Yeah.
I won't be on much longer because it's pretty soon to getting that time since my son's awake to sit down and watch Yancey Butler. Sorry, not Yancey Butler. Yep, Yancey Derringer, the old 1950s cowboy show.
Okay. Yeah.
It sounds like you about to hear pots and pans in your ear.
No. He Xander,
I don't know him.
Needs to stick to his routine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I stay home to take care of my son, and I do all my work online because he's special needs. I spent pretty much. No, you're fine.
I didn't know that. So.
Oh no, it's okay. I spend most of my time. I spent most of my time from 18 on working with special needs in one form or another. So it makes a lot more sense when my resume is a lot better than somebody else's for me to just take care of my son than pay $3,000 a month to have somebody whose resume is not as good as mine take care of my son.
Especially when nobody's got $3,000 a month to spare.
Yeah.
And being that guy, I was doing that. I was the guy doing that for other people, and I made like $10 an hour. So I'm like, wait a second, y'all, somebody's skimming off the top here. But
well, I was about to say, we got a Tuscaloosa. I don't know if you know University of Alabama football team, Coach Stallings. His son was a special needs child, and he passed away. But he started the Rise Center here, and everybody that goes out there is free, and whether it's cerebral palsy or anything like that, Down syndrome, they go out there for free, and and it's a great place. And when I can or used to be able to go, when I could drive, I'd go out there and volunteer all the time. So it's such a joy. It's such a joy to be around
And
You
see,
know.
I specialized on the guys nobody wanted, the severe behavioral guys. The other thing I told my company is I didn't want to work with women because there's always like 90% of special needs folks are sexually abused at one point or another. And part of my rules was I didn't want it to ever possibly, I don't ever want to be caught up in something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
That's
None of
part
that
of
drama.
that's part of why I quit the job, because I didn't want, and
Understood. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of stuff, but okay, buddy, real soon. So I'm gonna have to adjourn for the evening because I did say I was only hopping on while he was in the tub. But I hope you all have a good night. I will try to catch it, assuming my net holds up. It usually gives me about one streaming device at a time.
All right, brother.
I'll
Hey,
see.
Hey,
send me a message before you go
give him a big
live
hug
tomorrow.
from us.
What
Send
was
me
that,
a-
man?
Send me a message before you go live tomorrow.
I will.
Give Xander a big hug from us.
Oh, absolutely, Dan. You guys have a wonderful
Yeah.
night. Love you guys all.
You too. Appreciate you
Have a
coming
good
in.
night, Nick.
Thank you for
Take care,
coming in.
Nick.
See you, Nick.
There goes one hell of a man.
Yep.
Yep.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm tired, but good.
You finally got home from work, I see.
Yep. I finally got home from work.
Yeah, we've been talking shit about you.
I know. And I got on here to defend myself.
That lot of good that's going to do.
Yeah, a little late.
I was mostly just coming to keep y'all company.
Oh, yeah.
No, you
Yeah,
can't.
I'm going to have to back out of here too in a few minutes because I got some irons in the fire tomorrow.
Yeah, we all got stuff we got to do.
Mm,
Brand
And
them
then-
little ponies.
I'm
Chris-
telling you.
Chris came in
Well-
here to keep us straight. I know what that was.
Hey, Chris.
That's a lost cause,
Yes, sir.
let me tell you.
Josh never comes in the green room on Friday nights, so you
Well-
can talk trash on Josh then.
Yeah.
He'll
Well,
never hear it.
Well, I don't get on there till real late, and most of the time,
Same here.
most people are already gone. In fact,
That's-
all the men had left, and all I was left
Friday-
with was women.
Yeah. Well,
Friday,
And
Laura's
you're
gotta
wondering
work.
Why?
Yeah.
Friday night's date night. So,
That's understandable. You got to keep the fire burning in the home.
Mm,
But what better date night could you have other than coming into the green room and
Oh,
putting up
yeah.
with the abuse of
Carl and
grumpy Uncle
Donna,
Carl and Aunt Donna and Michaela Jade and
Yeah.
just
I can
you
think
know.
of several alternatives.
Yeah.
I could too.
Something that implies more of a one-on-one situation.
Yes. Just
See,
a
it-
little bit
it-
more intimate.
Yeah.
the
I'm
the
not in a
green
group marriage here, you know.
the green room can often be for couples and that, so that's why I also mention it to Josh that he can. Now you wouldn't see him online anymore afterwards once Kimberly found out what goes on in the green room, but
Yeah, well, we would proudly attend his funeral. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
she
well,
might let
y'all-
him do stupid o'clock one more time before he.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
Oh.
but I'll be in the green room tomorrow night after I get back from the auction. Laura's got to work Saturday morning, so I'm thinking that unless it goes pretty quick like last week, I may be getting in a little earlier to the green room than usual. And then Saturday, I have my sister-in-law's brother's surprise 50th birthday party at the Westville American Legion. Going to that, but it's going to be early, so I still should be in for stupid o'clock Saturday. And I know you said you can't make it Saturday, Dan.
I will be in Stupid O'Clock. There will not be a Last Man Standing.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
And that's
Uh,
Right.
what,
yeah,
that start. That's at what 10
10 o'clock
Central.
11,
Central.
No,
11 Eastern. Yeah, 10.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It will be 10 Central your time.
I will have to be at work at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, the green room tomorrow night is my last time to cut loose this week. After that is Stupid O'Clock, but when Stupid O'Clock ends, I am in
Well,
bed.
hell, green room
Yep.
starts at damn hell my time 6 o'clock.
Yep.
And it goes
7:30
on for a long
7:30 for
time.
me. Well, it goes on for as long as me and Donna
Yeah.
keep talking. Yeah. That seems to be
2
the
a.m.,
winning
3
tactic.
a.m.
Yeah. But I can't do that. I can't do that tomorrow night. I've got to keep
Well,
some
Yeah.
reasonable hours.
I was gonna
'Cause
say I got a football.
I do have to be at work at 6:30 Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Mm.
So my
Right.
late nights are truncated this weekend.
Does it
Well,
alternate from week to week, Dan?
Yes, it does. Next weekend I will be on night shift, and I will start on Sunday nights.
Mm-hmm.
So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday will be normal,
Okay.
absolutely normal, and we can have Last Man Standing Thursday night and Saturday night, Sunday morning,
Okay.
and green room Friday night. But I'm hoping that this will only go on for about 8 weeks or so. I am training somebody to do a brand new, well, not a brand new job, but somebody in a job, and we've got 2 people in that job,
Mm-hmm.
and me, who's kind of sideways to that job, but overlaps it a little bit, to train 2 people, one of which has not been awarded the job yet and not started their training.
Wow.
Yep. So I am on the team with the guy that has been awarded the job and
Mhm.
is undergoing the training. And I'm teaching him how to do the job the company way,
Mm-hmm.
as well as when nobody's looking, how to do it my way.
Yeah.
The big port is don't do it my way if somebody's looking,
Yeah.
because I know all the shortcuts.
well,
Well,
tomorrow.
That
folks,
makes sense.
Well,
I'm going to
Go ahead, Bill.
No, I was just going to say goodnight to y'all. I got to duck on out. Oh, one thing before I go, Dan, I meant to tell you earlier when you were talking about your books and your short stories at Stupid O'Clock. Wendy Lou Lee had sent me some more homework to do.
Oh, okay.
And I ended up doing a rewrite on one thing, and then she had me answer a bunch of questions on some other stuff that I've already written, because like I said, this is going to be a compilation of everything I send her, and her editors get to go through and pick out all the bones. But anyway, so I actually got that taken care of this afternoon, send it back
Good.
off. Well, Tuesday night, I really had it done, other than just a little bit of polishing up. And me and Laura went out for supper and brought my tablet and let her read both of them and get her critique on it, because I value her judgment on it. And
Yeah.
she's trying to improve my vocabulary and improve the way I speak, so I'm not saying or or and believe you me, I've been hearing so many people on the radio that speak professionally get in there on somebody's show or something that I listen to on WBBM out of Chicago or WDWS over here in Champaign. And every other word is I think when they go to finish a sentence, instead of taking a deep breath and, you know, kind of pausing a little bit and then just start to talk again, that deep breath is replaced with an or the end of the sentence, instead of having that period there, they put in a you know. And I've been guilty on that. So she helps me on that. She also does pretty good on editing. And so there was a few things that we talked about Tuesday night, and I got them polished up today and send them back to Wendy, and Wendy confirmed she got them, and just go from there and wait till things get done on her end with her editors and everything.
Bill, you sure you ain't talking about me, are you?
Are you an editor, Josh?
No, he used to criticize me about saying
Well, I found that I use when if I was writing, it would be a comma.
But
So
I was just saying,
I'm pausing together the next thought. It's not the end of the sentence. It's where do I go from here? And I really hate that. I'm trying to break myself of it in the spoken stuff like we do here on Stupid O'Clock and in the green room and here on Last Man Standing. But it's a very bad habit to break. I mean, it's very hard habit to break.
It's hard. Yeah, it's very hard.
It's very difficult to get to that point to where you can easily pause something without this automatic syllable creeping in to take the place of the comma or the dotted line or the M dash that you're actually using for your thought, but it doesn't come out in your voice because people speak in a way that is difficult to translate to print to text, and that's one of the things that I'm trying to break myself of, but it's a very, very, very hard habit to break.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't talking about you, Josh. I was talking about
I know you. I know you.
County auditor that she gets on there, and then there's a treasurer that gets on WDWS. There's a show called Penny for Your Thoughts, and they will get talking about political things or whatever's going on, the school shootings and things of that sort. And this one particular woman, where my problem is, if I get speaking too fast and I'm talking while I'm trying to think of what I'm going to say next at the same time, I end up saying, you know, at the end of the sentence. And I never really realized it for the longest time. And I asked Laura, I said, well, can you help me with this? And where I really found that I had a problem with it was back in July when Ryan Permison interviewed me on his show, and the show was going to be aired on Saturday, July 18th or 17th or whatever that Saturday was. We were up in Chicago, so we taped the show a couple days earlier. And while we were up there in Chicago, I got thinking about, well, the show should be over and I should be able to watch the rerun of it and see how I sounded. So me and Laura took a break from what we were doing, turned it on. I started watching about the first 15 minutes of myself, and I had to shut it off. And back then the ums and the you knows and everything else was just all over the place. And I said, I hate this. I don't really care whether I sound so incredibly professional or not, but it's just the fact that I think that I could turn somebody away and have them go on to a different show or doing something entirely different just because of the way I was talking. And it gets the same way about writing, which, I don't consider myself an author, but apparently I'm kind of got doing this, so I'm turning around and
you really do. And whether it's spoken or written. Now, one thing I would suggest, if you write something out, go ahead and read it aloud and listen to the habits that you've gotten into from that are different from the words you've written down, because your written voice is different from your spoken voice. Everybody's is. So if you find things that you're doing when you're speaking, but you're not doing when you're writing, work on trying to sound more like what you've written than if you're just speaking off the cuff, without a script or anything. And that might help a little. It'll help you pinpoint things, like you said, that the ums and the so and whatever, and the everything that you're thinking is a detriment to your interviews and whatever that is spoken. You can pinpoint that just by recording something that you've written and checking the difference between your spoken mannerisms and your writing mannerisms.
I find that if I slow myself down, I can catch myself before I say the or the I don't do the ums too much anymore. I won't say that I'm totally void of saying them, but right now I'm pretty good with it. But if I get speaking way too quickly and I just slowed myself down right there with that little pause, I will put in the or turn around and there we go.
I
get too quickly.
Don't maybe start counting your ass like you used to count my ass.
Last week when I was editing stuff
I was going to tell a story about you counting my podcast about the ums.
Which one? Oh, the ones that you were doing with Greg?
Yeah.
On UWN?
Yeah. Which
I don't hear you say that so much.
I wasn't the one doing the ums. I wasn't the one doing the ums. Which speaking of that, Morgan is about to be gone because he's not involved anymore, and
well, if he's moved in a different direction, so be it.
Well, he's back in. He's not but 16 years old. He's back in school. He can't be fully involved. So,
yep.
This kid, he's a prodigy. Yeah, he
got to do his homework.
Right. Yeah. He really can talk the talk and walk the walk when he does get involved. But if he's not going to continue to be involved, then you just have to move on. I mean, I
we're going to.
I like Morgan just fine, but
we're going to tell him. We're going to tell him whenever he wants to join in, and whatever. So
yeah, he can be a guest. Whatever.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't interrupt his schoolwork that he has to get done. His homework. Excuse me.
And whatever is another word.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one doesn't come up as much. I noticed myself when I was editing short stories last week before last. I have a really horrible habit of starting sentences with the word "so."
Same way with me.
I mean,
so
it is over and over and over again, and I did not realize just how weak that sounds when you're trying to do things that might eventually become an audio book. And I've got all these different instances in the text, and I'm trying to figure out how I can chop that out and come up with something different that gives that same. Well, I never thought about that, but here you go.
As I say, it'd be different. I don't know what the word after it would be, but
Josh, I know your word. I just realized what your word is. Where mine's and Dan's is so. Yours is I was just about to say. You do start that a lot. So there you go.
There are a lot of habits that we get into.
Oh yeah.
And if you're devoting yourself to something written down,
you got to write it out and read it.
It's easier to edit those things out, but when it comes to habits of speech, it's much, much harder because that's direct brain to mouth rather than when you're writing, it's brain to fingers.
But Dan, when I was writing all this stuff in this short story and then doing the rewrites even, I was kind of just going along, not at a Nick Talkert speed, but at a pretty quick pace.
Nobody can do that speed.
I would go back and I would self-edit it. I'd turn around and think, man, what was I doing here? Where was I going with it? Other than the typical autocorrect things or leaving a word or two out here or there, there was a lot of sentences that were run-ons. There were things that I started to go one direction and it just did a 360.
Yeah, it segued into something else.
Right.
And not in one of those little carts with the handlebars either.
Right, exactly. And I didn't think I could do it that way, but it happened. I didn't realize it when I was originally typing all this out in Microsoft Word, and I'm like thinking, okay, I'll be all right here. And then I go back and look, and I'm like, well, it's not so all right.
You didn't sound like Joe Biden, did you?
No, I was intelligible.
I do frequently because I have the same verbal handicap. I have the same. I do have the same stuttering disorder. You haven't noticed it because I've never
noticed that.
I have learned to cope with it better than Joe has.
Well, obviously,
it's exactly the same.
No,
it's exactly the same disorder. It is. It's very much tied into my dyslexia, but it is verbal rather than reading. So I understand exactly where he's coming from. I know exactly the tricks he has learned to try and slow down and back up and rephrase things in a way that your mouth will actually let you say what your brain is thinking in much more complex terms.
Is that why? Is that why he whispers?
Yeah, and it's why he stops and backs up and says something a slightly different way than the way that didn't work.
Well, I think
I just did right then. I
think he's getting coached in the ear. I mean, he's reading from a teleprompter. First of all, this is nothing that's coming out of from brain to mouth out to everybody. He's reading a teleprompter. Everybody knows that. But then if he screws that up, then he's getting coached in his earpiece. And I think a lot of times when he's whispering, he's trying to say something to the person who's coaching him and not making it loud enough so that everybody else can hear it. But you talk about
what the fuck did you say?
Yeah, the stuttering part. I had a friend.
I don't mind him stuttering, but
yeah. Well, I have a friend who's I've had
a very
for
complex thing, and I just did it again. Thing.
I don't mind the stuttering thing, but
have you ever listened to Mel Tillis talk?
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Oh,
only Mel has learned additional coping mechanisms, and when he's singing, he does not stutter a bit.
Well, you use a different part of your brain.
Well,
when you sing.
Yeah, and there's also I have rehearsed this a million times.
Yeah.
But do you not? That's the whole thing. Do you not think Biden has rehearsed?
Maybe 5 times, maybe 6 times for one individual speech. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I have a friend of mine who
not like performing a famous song over and over again for 50 years. No.
But
I have a friend of mine who stutters that I've been friends with for over 45 years, and he has gotten better over the years. We even talked about it one night while having coffee, and he says certain things that he does that leads him to stutter is that if his mind strays or he speeds up.
Yep.
And he says if he slows down and catches himself, then he can stay a little bit more fluid. But now, so it took him many years to get to where he is today. And I don't notice it half as much now as I did when he was a teenager. Basically because I just think he was twice as bad when he was a teenager. Now, I got to tell you this. My friend's name is Jim Stewart. No, and he was named after the actor Jim Stewart. His parents named him after that. But who would have thought? But he learned some tricks that helps him.
And Jimmy Stewart did have that same problem.
Yep.
If it wasn't rehearsed, if it was off the cuff, you have to try and do it in the moment. If you think too far ahead, then your mouth forgets what your brain has been going on about for 10 minutes.
And if you remember when he was on the Johnny Carson show and during the 80s and 90s, early 90s, when he would bring one of his poems on there to read, Johnny always asked him about a poem. When he did the poetry, he did okay because he used a certain melodic timing while reciting that poetry that kept his stuttering down to a bare minimum.
And that is stored in a different area of your brain than actually speaking off the cuff. So if you got something that you've rehearsed, it's stored one place. If you got something that you're just talking about right now, it's in a different place. You're composing it as your mouth is moving.
Yeah,
But speeches are
your
composed
yeah,
beforehand.
your frontal lobe and
Well, there's all I'm.
well, I mean, I'm just going off my because I have epilepsy. I kind of know a little bit.
Yeah, you would probably know much more than I do, actually. But your brain uses different areas to store different things according to different emphasis.
Yeah.
So
I've also heard that if somebody knows how to play a musical instrument or
That'd be your
in it, they have less effects from a stroke, less debilitating effects from a stroke.
Yeah,
that'd be the cortex.
Yeah, the speech is on one side of your brain, and musical, not talent, but training is on the other side. So it's sort of in there, in the difference between where the actual physical parts of your brain store different abilities.
Yeah.
Now,
different hemispheres.
Yep. And different areas within both hemispheres as well.
Be on your right hemisphere.
That's why when I'm doing artwork, I'm not using the same part of my brain that composes music, and neither one of those areas is where I'm composing a story.
Yeah,
it's like three different areas, but they can all work at the same time if you're lucky. And your normal,
your neurons are firing at the same time.
Yeah, really. Give me half a pot of coffee, and I get every neuron in my brain firing at once. And,
speaking of Jimmy Stewart, I actually was watching Tubi last night, and they had the old Dean Martin celebrity roast, and the first one was Bob Hope, and Jimmy Stewart was one of the guys roasting him. Yeah, there were a lot of people that weren't there anymore. Phyllis Diller was on it. Flip Wilson, Nipsey Russell.
Yep.
John Wayne did a remote from where he was filming McClintock. No, not McClintock. The Rooster Cogburn, the sequel to True Grit. And they had Don Rickles, of course, and Omar Bradley spoke briefly.
Huh. Oh, wow.
And he was the only 5-star general of the Army at the time.
Yep.
It may have been the last one we had. I can't remember for sure.
Him and Patton, I think, was the only 5-star.
Also had trying to think. I did mention Phyllis Diller, I think.
Yeah, you did.
And Rich Little was on there, and
he was always
it was a great show. I'm like, oh man, it's bringing back memories from when I was real little.
It was the best generation to grow up and see all that from the 60s and 70s and into the early 80s, because you had the people that were just the powerhouses of cinema and television for the last 30, 40 years. And then here they're all doing these things like the TV roasts or going on Carson or Dick Cavett or any of those shows, Mike Douglas and that. And you turn around and you're like, I think we were talking the one night about Three Stooges and talking about Mo being on there, gray-haired Mo Howard on, I think it was Merv Griffin or Mike Douglas, I forget now. And then Groucho Marx being on one of his last shows, I think in 75 or 76, whatever it was. But it's wonderful. And you think, oh man, what are these people nowadays, the 20 somethings and all that, missing because they don't know who these people are.
They did not have the advantage of having been us at our age when these things were live.
Well, I think
Well,
they missed out on was they had so many variety shows. So you got to see a little bit of everything. You got to see,
well, I was about to
you
say,
got to see music and all that.
I'm in between all of that. I'm like pushing 40, so
Yeah,
I'm like, I got
Yeah.
to catch
you got to see
everything.
a little bit of it because you were born in what 80 or somewhere around then.
84.
Yeah,
So
So by the time
hey,
you were 10 years old, the Tonight Show was over with as far as Carson goes for a couple of
But-
years. So about 8 years old is
Yep.
when he left.
hold that thought. I'm about to go in here and watch TV with Kimberly, and I'm gonna say good night to y'all.
all right. Good night, Josh.
And
Have a good night.
Josh.
good
Tell
night,
Kimberly
Dan.
we said hi.
It's
Yep.
always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Please do give Kimberly a big hug from all of us.
Yep.
I will. And yep, I'll see y'all.
Saturday.
I hope I will see y'all Saturday,
Yep.
depending on how much I drank during the game.
I promise.
Never stop me.
Yeah. You hold it better.
Y'all have a good night.
Practice.
You too,
It's
Josh. Take
practice.
care.
I've
Good
had
night.
60 something years to practice here.
Yeah, you got a little bit more on me.
And plus, I keep drinking this canoe beer, so it doesn't really matter.
What beer?
The same one you drink.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that water.
Yeah.
I'm drinking
Yeah.
real water, spring water.
All right. Yeah, have a good one.
Good night, Josh.
Good night, Josh.
Good night.
Not Josh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it is the witching hour here.
Well,
And
you
so
were going to leave like,
about a half
30
hour
minutes
ago.
yeah.
I know it was like not long after Nick left. I was planning on getting out, but
Then he got interested again.
it got interesting. Yeah, but that's how it rolls. And so we'll continue on Stupid O'Clock then Saturday.
Yep. I'm fixing to go get me another beer here, and Chris, if you want to hang around, we can talk about all kinds of music or whatever you want to talk about.
I'll hang around long enough for you to get your beer, and then I'll back out.
All right.
That way, Chris won't be talking to himself.
Unless I fall down, it won't take but a minute.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm not going to fall out. Anyway, I fell asleep because I had left it on continuous play, and caught the tail end of Lucille Ball, and I'm thinking, man, I got to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah, they had a lot. Well, I remember when Time Life first put out all those celebrity roasts on DVD, and my friend Jilly Morton, who I affectionately called Jelly Bean because that's what her dad used to call her, she had bought all those, and then it also came with some of the Dean Martin's variety show that he had with the Gold Diggers and that, and she sent those to me as a gift. Yeah, very nice of her. Now, here's the connection she has. Her dad, Harry Morton, used to manage Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., not Frank, but
A lot of the Rat Pack.
Joey Bishop, yes. But not Frank and not Peter Lawford. But yeah, Dean, Sammy, and Joey. And of course, a bunch of other famous celebrities that he had over the years. So
that's some high dollar talent there.
Oh yes, and there's always pictures that Jilly is showing on her Facebook of the time when Jerry Lewis came for her birthday. And she's sitting with Jerry Lewis, has his arm around Jilly, and it just really wonderful. But
she's one of Jerry kids then.
Yeah, in a sense. But her dad was the manager of these people. Her mom, Billy, back in the 40s and 50s, used to be a singer with having a lot of famous orchestras like Paul Whiteman orchestras and that back her up. And so, yeah, I'm always interested when she's posting a lot of that stuff. But
bang zoom! I saw that teleport.
Yeah,
I was telling Bill about the. I was watching the roast last night. I fell asleep and I woke back up, and they were doing. I caught the tail end of Lucille Balls, and I was just telling him that the talent in that period, because you had the old guard, so to speak, that was starting to give away to a newer guard, who's now the old guard these days.
How many ever of them that are left?
Yeah,
a lot of them seem to be going away here lately.
Well,
yep, we've said goodbye to a great many of them. Let me tell you.
Debbie Boone turned 60 this week.
You didn't believe that was possible?
Hell, I still remember her from when I was real little, when she was young. I mean, she was like 17 or 18 when You Light Up My Life became a big hit. And then Joan Jett turned 63 this week.
I know, and she's still hot.
Yeah, but she's had almost too much work done on her face because it's
none of my business.
It's not Kenny Rogers bad yet, but it's getting there.
But she, she's not quite what she was.
Hey, as long as she still rocks, that's all that matters.
Hey,
really,
man,
as long as she can still play guitar and sing, I'm happy.
I was watching her video for her cover of Dirty Deeds Done Cheap. And I'm thinking, man, that is her at her absolute best, most perfect version of herself.
That was back in the 90s, actually.
She looked healthy. She looked happy. Her career was taking off again because she kind of had a little bit of a lull between I Love Rock and Roll and when that came out.
Yeah. Well, she had to transition from the Runaways to her solo act, and then
but she was starting to move away from
between her hits as a solo act too. Now you've got to give credit where credit is due. Sometimes the record sales do not match up with the actual talent involved.
Well, yeah, but her song, I Hate Myself for Loving You, that was when she really started making her way back up to the tops. I actually think Dirty Deeds Done Cheap came, her cover of it came after that.
Yeah, it did.
She did a lot of covers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I play.
Well, her Crescent and Clover is one of the better covers.
Yes, it is. And one of the few that anybody's ever attempted, because Tommy James and the Shondells did such a good job. But she not only equaled them, she surpassed them.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, because she had such a career with the Runaways, even though that was a brief that was a brief time. It was only 5-6 years, something like that. And then she went and isn't Lita Ford playing
Lita
with
Ford was one of them.
isn't Lita Ford playing with Alice Cooper's band nowadays?
She's done various projects. The thing about Lita Ford is she
whatever she was,
when the grunge thing
yeah.
hit the scene, she just kind of disappeared for a little while because MTV and a lot of radio stations didn't want to touch hard rock and heavy metal because alternative and grunge were the flavor of the day,
and she outlived MTV, at least the music part.
Well, I think the last big thing you saw of her from MTV was the duet that she did with Ozzy. And you didn't hear nothing from her after that. And I know she's still around, and she hangs out with Sherry Curry still, which you think how that woman is still alive, I don't know, but she is. And she looks a hell of a lot better than what she did in the 70s. Just simply in the fact that I think she's clean now to where she wasn't in the 70s. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and back out before it gets to be another half hour because now you're talking what I like to talk about, but I'm going to have to
replay. Maybe
you can catch us in the replay.
I will catch you in the replay or listen to you a little bit before while I'm getting ready for bed here. So, but
I should have gotten another beer. I'm sorry. I just went to the bathroom, but I should have gotten another beer. I will be right back.
Okay.
All right. But
if you need to go, Bill, I mean,
I got a lot of stuff to do in the morning, and I'm not even going to be able to catch Brian's show tomorrow morning. I have so many things that need to get done.
Well, I'm rarely ever able to catch Brian's show. I mean, most I can usually do is say hi and listen to a few minutes, and then I got stuff I got to do.
Yeah. Well, it just, there's enough of Brian's shows out there right now, and I know he just ended his Tuesday night show because he's going to do these little minute meditation things or whatever in the mornings, and he's still got his comic book show that he does with Clyde and everybody, Brian and all. But so, I'll generally catch something on a rerun. I was just catching one of Ryan Permison's shows with Dave Adams that he did, the Geek at Birth. And he's telling me, he says, have you watched the rerun of our show yet? I said, no, I'm just getting ready to. And he says, well, watch it. We give you a shout out at the beginning of it. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. Well, I did the artwork for their show on there. So, but I will get in there and try to watch. And it's just hard to watch them all. So
it really is.
That's one thing I enjoy about the Rising Tide Network. They prop everybody up. They try and give shout outs to everybody and let people know what their are and all that. They're very
there's so many more than just on Rising Tide that I watch. That's the problem because I'm trying to keep up with a group of mine that reads the Bible, and when the person that is admin of the group is who I'm working for on this short story right now. So I have to keep up with her. And that's a couple times a week on that one as well. So, but anyway,
see everything that's out there. I mean,
I can't, and I try to adjust it to where I can watch everybody at least once every couple weeks or a couple times a week, whatever. But, you got things you got to do.
I had to catch several things on the replay this afternoon and earlier this evening that I missed last week because I was at work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
By the time I got home, they were already in mid-flow, and it was one of those cases where if I had just went ahead, I would have got like the last 15 minutes,
Mhm.
and I went ahead and gave them a like and promised myself I'd come back later. So today I finally got the chance.
And there's not every show is going to be something that you'll want to watch. And
No.
there are some shows that it's nothing against the show or the people on the show. They're just talking things I don't know anything about or don't have an interest in it or whatever, but I know other people do. So,
Well,
more power to them. And the other people that have those interests will watch their show, and I'll do the ones that I have the interest in, and
a lot of the Rising Tide shows are about comic books, and I don't collect anymore, and I don't know anything any more recent than the 70s.
Yeah.
So I've got no point of connection with them anymore because they're talking about new stuff.
And no horse in the race, so to speak.
Yeah. Now, if they're gonna talk about the classic era of my day, then yeah, I might actually know something and be able to drop in a comment that is apropos. But if they're talking about new stuff and independent stuff, then I don't know jack shit about what they're talking about.
No.
So,
well,
the people that do, I'm not going to get in their way. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh yeah, it was so much better back in the day. No, that's not my style.
No.
Everybody's got the stuff that they like. It doesn't matter if it's old school, new school, or the next school.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't need to stand in anybody's way.
No. And
well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and back on out, and I will see y'all, if not in the green room tomorrow night, Saturday night on Stupid O'Clock then.
All right. Until next time.
So you guys have a good evening, and thanks for having me on here as always. And
thank you for being here, Bill. Thank you for being here.
Well, we try. That's why I say we got you pick and choose. And so I did. But anyway, we'll see you then. And bye, con Dios.
Get you some sleep.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being patient with me, Dan.
Oh, it's no problem at all. I was just going to say about Bill, his accent causes people to underestimate him. There is a razor sharp mind.
Oh yeah.
I mean, seriously, the man knows so much.
And he knows so many people.
Yeah.
That are like, might be older stars, but hell, there's stars I wouldn't mind knowing and being friends with.
Yeah. And then people underestimate him because of the way he talks. And it's just down home.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, Lord, no. But
I like listening to you talk.
Well, I'm pretty down home myself sometimes.
Well, I like pacing. I like the flow, and you talk about stuff that I find fascinating.
Well, there was a guy trying to get me to be a voice actor at one time, and I did a couple of different audition voices and things like that. He really was excited about it, and then we kind of figured out that because of the way that I work, I wouldn't have time to go through scripts and do you basically got to record things, and then you got to edit the recording so that it doesn't sound like you took 15 takes to be able to say 5 words.
that might be something you want to consider when you retire.
Well, I could if there was something that was suited to the way that I actually talk.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the oddball voices that I can do. And I don't do that many. I mean, I'm no Mel Blanc, let me tell you.
No, few people are.
I cannot do 10,000 voices. I'd be lucky if I could do 10 and have them not sound exactly the same. But still, let me take these damn things off. They don't have any glass in the lenses anyway.
Okay.
I just use them so that when people see me at a convention, they look for a guy that's wearing glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could wear my hat with headphones, I'd be doing that too. Because that hat is one of my identifying
one of your trademarks.
Yeah, really.
If you will.
You see this bugger, you know it's me. And that one's about one size, maybe a size and a half too small. I'm going to have to order another one and give that to one of my grandkids. I can wear it. It's just too small. It doesn't fit in my head right. And my wife told me the original Greek sailor's cap that I bought in the charity shop in England, it is now in a box waiting for me to die, and she's going to bury me in it. And I'm going, yeah, right. What you're going to do is wait till I'm not looking and find the box and go out and bury it by itself.
It could be either one.
Hey,
she might do that and dig it up and then bury it with you.
I don't know about that.
It depends on what she seals it in and if it's worth the crap.
It believe me, it's in a an Amazon box, so it's not going to last very long. If dirt ever hits it, it's going to dissolve real quick. So, just one of those things.
Speaking of this,
yeah, go right ahead.
I was watching some old episodes of Buck Rogers in the 25th Century with Gil Gerard. I realized during the opening credits, I'm like, that's William Conrad's voice doing the narration.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's one of his last jobs, actually.
Well, that was before he got. Well, actually, he did Jake and the Fat Man for a few years after that happened. After that, he got Joe Penny from the series Riptide, if you remember Riptide.
Yep. I remember lots of stuff.
Hell, I remember seeing a preview of Candid where he was running, and I'm thinking, damn, they're trying to kill him?
It's probably what he was thinking, too.
He was there.
Fire that scriptwriter. I'm never working with him again.
He was definitely bouncing.
Yep.
In more than one place, too.
No, you are aware that he was the original Matt Dillon from the radio show of Gunsmoke.
No, I wasn't aware of that.
Yep. Conrad was the man back in the day when there wasn't any TV.
Well, I remember that Burt Reynolds was a blacksmith on Gunsmoke.
Yep. And let's see, Clint Eastwood was Rowdy Yates on, I believe it was a Wagon Train. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was thinking it was either Wagon Train or Rawhide. I couldn't remember which one.
You're right. I can't remember which one either. I remember
I'm pretty sure it's one of those two.
I remember the name of the character, but I don't remember the name of the show because that was just. I might have been 2, 3. I might not even have been born at the time. But
as a matter of fact, I think I don't know if it was Thursday or Wednesday, but it was the anniversary of the first season premiering of Baba Black Sheep.
Mm.
I used to enjoy that show because that's one of the few shows my parents would let me stay up late and watch when I was real little.
Yep. And I remember him from Wild Wild West,
Yep.
which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you remember, I'm old enough to have seen it in first run, so
Yeah.
I got to see the black and whites and then the color,
Yeah.
and it was James Bond as a cowboy. It always was,
Yeah.
especially with the gadgets and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of akin to Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
Then they're of a, if not the same era, a very similar era. I think
Yeah.
Wild Wild West was a few years after Man from U.N.C.L.E., but it had the same sort of stylistic thing. Here's two guys who are partners who are spies, and
there's a little bit of tension, but they get
yeah,
along for the most part.
yeah. These two are in 1960s New York, and these two are in 1860s wherever.
Yeah. West of the Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
But just some of the shows, and that's one of the things there's been some decent remakes and reboots of stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
I wish Hollywood would come up with a better idea, because there's some things that I just don't think need to be remade.
Oh, I agree with you there. I agree with you.
One,
There are a lot of
top
things that don't need to be remade because the originals were, for want of a better word, perfect for when they were done.
Yep, The Princess Bride comes to mind.
Mm-hmm. You do not ever want to remake The Princess Bride.
Yep.
There
Even
are
Ted,
a lot of things in that same category. Yeah.
even Ted Turner, back when he was on the colorization kick, he said one thing that will never be colorized is the beginning of The Wizard of Oz.
Of course not. That was done that way on purpose.
Yep.
The beginning and the end,
Mm-hmm.
to show the reality of Dorothy's world.
Yeah.
Whereas Oz was the fantasy portion of her journey of discovery, let's say.
Yep. I'm not going to pass judgment on it yet because I'm interested to see how it turns out. I am interested in seeing how the new Dune is going to be.
So am I. I really love. This is going to be unpopular, but I really loved the original one with everybody thinking all the time, all the unspoken dialogue that went on, because that's exactly the way the book was written. I mean, 90% of that 800 pages of book is people thinking of things that they never spoke.
You're talking about the David Lynch version of '86, right?
No, the absolute original version. It might have been Dino De Laurentiis. I'm not sure. It might have been David Lynch. I'm not sure. Whenever
it's the one that had Sting in it.
As what?
It had Sting in it as Faye Rapper. That's the David Lynch version.
Okay. Then that's the one. That's the one.
There's another version that I saw that I liked. It was a sci-fi miniseries, and it had Sean Young playing Chiani, and Relative Unknown playing Paul. Anyway, I liked the cast. There were parts of it that I liked better. than the 86 version, and there were parts of the 86 version that I liked better than it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was another version done after that that I wasn't that big of a fan of, and this is another one.
I think there was a TV miniseries or something along in there. I
That
remember.
was bad.
I remember the one that you're talking about. I have a copy of it, but I've never watched it.
Mm-hmm.
It's still sealed up on my shelves somewhere.
Yeah, but
because I like the David Lynch that much.
Well, I liked it much because it had a stellar cast. I mean, Max von Sydow.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, Rich
Just,
Jordan.
Mm-hmm. All these folks that you knew from so many other places.
Dean Stockwell.
Yes, indeed.
And
now I've been a fan of Dean Stockwell long before Quantum Leap because I saw him as a little boy in the I think it was the last two Thin Man movies with Myrna Loy and now I'm having aphasia. I can't remember the actor's name. William Powell.
Okay. I haven't heard either of those names. Now, I actually saw a picture of Myrna Loy back when she was younger, and I'm thinking, damn, no wonder people got excited about her.
Oh, she was hot, let me tell you. And here you go. Homework. Look up The Thin Man.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to find it. You might be able to find it on YouTube.
I've heard of the name before. I definitely have.
That's the first one. I think there were 7 movies in the series, but that's the first one. Jimmy Stewart was the villain in the second one.
Wow.
Although nobody knew it until the last 5 minutes. Spoiler.
He was kind of ambiguous. I guess you'd call him hero or anti-hero. Granted, it's been a long time since I watched it. I probably need to watch it again. But The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, him and John Wayne.
Yep.
I don't think either one of them was necessarily both purely good.
But neither one of them was both purely bad either.
Yes, exactly.
They were various shades of gray.
Yeah.
Which is more like reality actually is.
But one of my favorite anti-hero characters was Mel Gibson in Payback or Paycheck. I can't remember which one it was. Where he was going to do a hit for maybe it was Get Caught. Anyways, one of those films where he wanted his money. They didn't pay it. James Coburn was going to have him killed, and he went to kill everybody till he got paid his money.
Yeah, really. You gonna pay me or you gonna die? I'll work my way up.
And the guy offered him more money, and he didn't want more money. He wanted what he was told he was going to be paid.
Yeah, really. You signed the contract. Pay me what you owe me, and I'll go away. Otherwise, I'm coming after your ass.
And it's funny because James Coburn was one of the guys that double crossed him.
Yeah, well, that's kind of an automatic death sentence when you refuse to pay a hitman. I mean, seriously, these people are professionals.
Riddick's one of the Chronicles of Riddick. That's one of the
that's
biggest popular anti-heroes.
That's one of the ones that first showed off that the Rock could actually act instead of just wrestle.
Yeah,
and it was amazingly successful.
Yeah, and but like I said, it's fun watching some of these characters get portrayed by these people, and I don't remember right offhand, but I remember somebody talking about it. They took a character from a book that they thought was kind of wooden and didn't have much interest in it and made him appealing.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it does happen from time to
Yeah.
time.
exactly. I mean,
Not only in the one you're trying to remember that I don't know what is,
yeah.
but in general, it happens quite a lot.
Well, there's people that take bit parts and then turn them into where they write them into the shows just because they become so popular.
Yep. Yep.
Bruce Campbell in Xena Warrior Princess, where he played the Prince of Thieves. They kept bringing him back.
Yeah, because he's just so damn much fun.
Yep, and I think they included Ares more often because the guy that played Ares in that series was so popular.
Mm-hmm.
And
Was
Callisto Hudson Leak, she was another one that they brought back.
Yeah. Wasn't he the one that was in an action movie, I think being filmed in China, and accidentally got killed during a stunt?
You talking about the guy that played Ares?
I think
Or-
so,
or
but I
you
could be
talking
wrong. I could be wrong.
Or are you talking about Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, who died?
No. I know quite well the Crow. This is totally different. There was somebody that was connected with Hercules, Xena, in that group of actors that was doing a totally different sort of action movie, and a stunt went wrong and they died. And it was being filmed in China at the time.
Similar but different time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the time traveling show Voyagers?
Vividly, yes.
Had the little kid and the bigger guy, John Eric Hexum. Yeah, he died, I think, with somebody had swapped out a blank and put an actual bullet in a gun.
Yeah, it makes you wonder whether or not that some of these accidents were not accidents.
Yeah, premeditated.
Yeah, got a grudge against somebody and got a good excuse and a good alibi, so you can't ever get caught.
I heard he might have been fooling around with somebody's missus, so that could have possibly led to that. That's never a good thing.
Look at Bob Crane from Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
Somebody bashed his head in for some unknown reason, but there's a lot of circumstantial evidence that pointed to this person or that person.
Yep. He had an interesting little side hobby that cost him dearly.
Yes. But it also kind of indirectly popularized videotape.
Yes.
Let's see.
And led to the burgeoning of a certain type of cinema.
Yep. Yeah, and that led to the choice of VHS over Betamax.
Yep.
Indirectly, because VHS was less expensive to produce.
Yes.
That sort of film for.
Even though Betamax was probably a superior format.
A better quality image,
yes.
Yeah. But because it was more expensive, it didn't get used by those production companies, and those production companies had a huge audience.
Yeah. And considering they were cranking out new ones as often as they could, they needed something where they could
about
reach the maximum profit.
Every 3 hours, a new one could be released. Yes.
Oh Lord, it's interesting to see how.
No. That's actually one of those things, and that's one of those. The same principle as that led to the medium we are using right now, the internet.
Yes.
because that sort of cinema was one of the driving points of people actually wanting to go
Get
online and download stuff, whether it was still photographs or movies. And just look the way that industry goes in the future, and you will find the next big step in recording media and what we're using now probably sprang directly from what would have been intimate chats, for want of a better phrase.
Yes.
Well,
you know the saying, sales.
Yep. And whatever sells creates new businesses.
Yeah.
That have nothing to do with the original, but this is the way that technology gets driven.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see how, like you said, they adapt to ever-changing technologies and interests, because whatever becomes successful and popular are what they utilize to continue to bring in the money that they bring in.
And then it trickles down. This is the only trickle-down economy that actually works, is what they discover and what becomes popular and what is affordable to their audience becomes what we use 20 years later.
Yes. Because when you reach where the economies of scale have built up to where things are affordable, that's when things really start to take off and improve.
Yep. And it's interesting that although that particular genre is popularly shunned, it is also enormously popular with the people that shun it.
Well, I don't know if you remember, this may be totally out of what you were interested in at the time, but I remember years ago, MTV broadcasting the Video Music Awards with Chris Rock as the host. And he's going over this stuff that's kind of big in pop culture and all. He says, Spice Girls, oh my God. He says, you know, who in here like the Spice Girls? And it's gets really quiet in there. He's like, oh yeah, Spice Girl like crack cocaine. Everybody's doing it, but nobody wants to admit it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That line stuck with me.
They had one really huge video out, and I can't remember exactly which song it was at this point. It's been quite a while, but
they had several big hits, but
they had several big hits, but
Wannabe was probably their most popular one.
Yeah, this was a little bit after that one, but
now I love their video for "Say You'll Be There" because it's kind of got a Mad Max, Burning Man theme to it.
And there was one that MTV was playing over and over and over and over again, and I'm going.
But they played a lot of them. Those two especially, those were probably two of their biggest hits. I know they had one or two others, but those are the two that come to my mind the quickest.
Yeah. But there was one that the redhead just really got under my skin. I was going to go, oh,
Yeah.
she's so hot. You know? And here
Yeah.
I'm barely in my 20s.
Yeah, she was in a Famous Men's magazine.
Now, if I missed that, I used to collect those, and if I missed that, I am terribly, terribly sorry. But
Yeah, I don't remember
I probably was married at the time and not
allowed to.
well, I'm not allowed, just out of respect, not indulging.
Yes, yes,
You know, I don't collect anything nowadays. And,
yeah.
uh, although
Mm-hmm.
if you show me a picture of Betty Page that I've never seen before, I'm going to download that sucker in a minute. A very hot minute. Betty Page is.
She had one of those. I mean, there could be ones where she was like clothed or in a bikini or something and just had a smile that would light up the whole room.
That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. She had this magnetism.
Yeah.
And
well, it's sort of like Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah. It didn't matter if it was a bikini pic or if it was her in a sundress standing somewhere. Just, nothing provocative about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just her joy.
Mm-hmm.
And just the fact that she was having so much fun having her picture taken.
Yep.
And it's like gravity. You can't resist it.
Yep. And I still to this day have a huge crush on Olivia Newton-John.
Well, yeah. Who wouldn't?
And Linda Carter, I mean, she still got that sparkle in her eyes.
I have seen her in some of the CW superhero shows where she's had a guest shot.
Mm-hmm.
She has not dropped 1 ounce of that absolutely breathtaking beauty. She is still gorgeous.
Did you ever see the movie Sky High?
Was Kurt Russell in that?
Yes.
I have.
She was the principal.
I know. It took me a minute, but no, I absorbed every second of that, just going through. Oh, wait, y'all going to argue about this, and you're going to wait on the kids. Then, okay, shut up. Wait on the kids. And it turned out to be a major plot point that they had to wait on the kids.
Yeah. I enjoyed that movie. It had its quirks that were a little bit irritating, but for the most part, it was an enjoyable film.
Yeah, until you figured out what was going on, it looked like it was dumb as ditch water. And then when you figured out what was actually going on, you go, "Oh, this is cute. This is great.
And it makes sense.
This is a coming of age movie." Yeah. And it fits in with Kurt Russell's career with Disney and Lord, his one appearance on Lost in Space, and that was pre-Disney, but
and I loved his Disney stuff. I mean, the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes and other ones they have that.
Everything, there were so many. And he was always the same guy that this weird stuff kept happening to.
And I think Escape from New York was kind of his first venturing out from the. I mean, he was in some other stuff too, but that was one of the first one of his major films after that Disney.
that gave him a chance to play somebody that wasn't the boy next door.
Yeah. And he was quite good at it, too.
Oh, man, he's impressive as all get out. And then you got Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, I love that movie.
I do, too. I mean, I hold that right up there with Buckaroo Banzai and Rocky Horror and Clue and
I love Clue.
Just so many movies that are just, you've got to see this sort of thing.
Clue was my first introduction to Tim Curry.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I actually saw it before I saw Rocky Horror Picture.
All right. And have you followed along with the other stuff that he's in, like the Little Orphan Annie movie?
Yes, I do remember him being in that, and he was also in The Hunt for Red October.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite films that nobody seems to like.
Congo?
No, Oscar.
Oh, okay.
With Sylvester Stallone. They're like, he wasn't. I think Sylvester was pretty funny in it. And everybody else in that cast, I mean, that was one of the best ensemble casts ever constructed.
That's one of those things where everybody has typecast Stallone as Rocky or Rambo, and they don't see him as being able to do something different.
Oh my God, that film is so damn funny, Dan.
I know.
He plays an English tutor. And I love that part where he's giggling and he's beat off. He's doing the double entendre without meaning to seem like he's doing the double entendre. Mm-hmm. That line where he says, "You have a dangling participle."
That's not double entendre. That's snark.
It's both. Well, he was being serious. That's the thing about it, though, because I know. Oh my God, it's so funny. And I love the part where he's trying to tell Peter Riegert to go do something. He said, "I'm smoking a salmon." He's like, "Well, put it out and get in here." Just all those little scenes in it. It's hilarious.
I know, but that's not the only example of people doing stuff like that. Oops, that went way okay.
Yeah. And of course, there's other things with Tim Curry in it. But like I said, Clue was my first introduction to him, and it was so enjoyable.
You know, any time, any movie that gave Tim Curry an excuse to sing is well worth everyone's time, because the man can belt it out. Oh, how many cartoons do you know of that he did voices for? I can remember.
I can't think of it right offhand, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a number of them. What's the other thing that I wanted to? Wasn't he in Legend too?
Yes, he was. He was the demon.
Yep.
Layered in so much makeup, nobody could tell who he was. But once you heard that voice,
yeah. I mean, you stop and think about it. David Bowie and him both in the same damn movie.
Well, think about who the hero characters were.
Yeah.
That's probably why the movie wasn't given better ratings.
Oh, I will tell you. Speaking of Jennifer Connelly.
She's still my beating heart.
The first time I really noticed her in anything was the movie Career Opportunities. Gives you a little film, but Dan, if you have not watched that, you need to watch it.
You have seen Rocketeer, I take it.
Yeah, but you need to see Career Opportunities. She's wearing that skin tank top and those tight pants. Yeah. And she's wandering around the store.
I'm no longer a young man. I can't risk heart attacks.
And the thing is, she fell prey to that damn Hollywood producer things where they got to be so damn skinny. She lost weight. She was perfect then. And she had curves. She wasn't fat. Ugh.
I know. Have you seen Dark City?
Very little of it. I seen like a scene here or two there. It's always one of those deals where I want to watch the whole thing, not change the channel because I was flipping channels to begin with.
You should go ahead and order a copy and watch the entire thing. Not only is she in it, but Lord have mercy, I wish I could remember names right now when I'm under stress. The guy that wrote Rocky Horror Picture Show, Riff Raff.
I don't know the name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was also in the Flash Gordon movie. Is the guy that was playing the flugelhorn in the forest. Yeah.
And I thought
Richard O'Brien. O'Brien. It is every bit the equal to the first Matrix movie. At the same time, the first Matrix movie came out.
Well,
it is in an entirely different direction.
Yeah.
But
I enjoyed the Flash Gordon movie. I mean,
oh yeah. Well,
I wish they had made a sequel to it.
Well, they would have, except they kind of wrote themselves into a corner where Flash won and there wasn't anybody left to fight.
Yeah.
Until you get to the very, very Doctor Who and the Master element of the ring being picked up by somebody else.
Yeah.
And you really know that Max von Sydow would come back as Ming the Merciless, but nobody had the budget for it.
Yeah.
That was one of those De Laurentiis things again.
Well, it's also one of the kind of things that Marvel Cinematic Universe started doing was those little teaser scenes there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is they actually
followed up.
Well, yeah, and they had clues in that teaser scene that would be important later on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like their one-shots.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen the DVDs where they had the one-shots, but they were just scenes that were done separately. It's just a little thing, but it would tie in later on to stuff that would happen.
I've seen several of them, but not an entire compilation of them.
Yeah, well, you have to have the DVDs for each movie to really see them.
I've got almost 98% of them. There's a few that I haven't got.
Did you see the one with Gary Shandling? Where he whispers Hail Hydra?
Yeah. Yep. I've got that one. Indeed. Yeah. There are so many things. There are so many things. Mm-hmm. And I love the way that that particular universe ties back into itself over and over again and overlaps with either a very fantasy element or a very realistic modern day element. And it keeps going and going and going and growing.
One of the things they did right with that is the continuity.
Yeah. Somebody was
Well,
watching.
they've got an actual person that's in charge of continuity.
A continuity editor, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I try and do with my my Spaceport Var stuff. Although sometimes somebody writes one that just does not fit in continuity whatsoever, but it's a good story, and I go, okay, alternate universe. What can I do? It don't tie in with the rules that I lay out, but I can't throw it away because it's good.
Yep. If something's good enough, you find a way to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I go. Alternate universe, bang! There we go. It's there.
And you know, like I said, I get when I get to see stuff that I haven't seen in a long time, and I go back and watch it, and I just really, really enjoy it.
Have you ever seen Logan's Run?
Yes.
In
the
theater or on?
I've seen it on
the DVD.
Yeah, well, I've seen it on pay channels and streaming and syndicated TV movies on like Channel 46 back when it was just WGNX and it was kind of a super station. But
so you have seen the bit that did not show up in the theater.
I'm not exactly, because it's been a while since I've seen it. But I know she was kind of upset with them scantily cladding her in outfits in that movie.
This was beyond scantily clad.
Oh, so there were some nice visuals for that. I think I got to see part of it. I don't think I got to see everything.
This is one of those things. One of those YouTube channels we call the most frequently paused moments in a movie.
I can imagine that. And interestingly enough, she was in Civil War. She was one of the government agents or the people, the ruling body behind S.H.I.E.L.D.
Now, here's one that'll blow your mind. She was a child actor in Railway Children.
Oh.
With Wilf, Bernard Cribbins back in the day. And she played the mother of the family in the modern day remake of the Railway Children.
Well, she was also, I believe, the mother in Child's Play.
Okay, refresh my memory. I know it.
Child's Play, Chucky.
Chucky. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she was the mother in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be. Horror is not my thing.
It's not my favorite. I know Skunk probably don't want to hear that, but
Skunk will forgive us. I mean, he knows. When I was going on to his show on Sunday nights, I made it clear sci-fi was what I was primarily familiar with, but I knew a little bit, just the teeny tiniest amounts about the horror films that he was most interested in and more familiar with than me, and he didn't mind it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. He understands where fandoms overlap from one genre to another.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's some horror things that I like. I kind of like some of the more campy, humorous ones, like all the Scary Movie franchise. Where they poke fun at it.
Well, you might actually get a kick out of some of the Freddy movies because they had their humorous moments.
Oh yeah. Dream Warriors was probably my favorite of Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think that was one of the ones that I watched more than once, actually.
because I like the idea of, I can't think of her character name, but Patricia Arquette's ability to pull herself out of the dream as she was in. I'm like, that would be a cool skill to have, if you're in a nightmare.
Really. Sorry, I'm going to wake up now.
Yep. And just to extract yourself from the situation where you possibly could lose your life. And I'm thinking that's a damn kick-ass skill to have.
Yeah, really. Bugger off. I'm going to wake up now.
Not to mention the nurse was hot as hell before she turned into Freddy.
Yeah, that's a superpower right there. Yeah. Not turning into Freddy, but being able to wake yourself up from a dream.
Yeah.
There were, oh God. Like I said, my specialty is cheesy 50s and 60s sci-fi. Yeah. So,
But I kept, I went and watched Scary Movie 4 in the theaters. I was afraid they were going to ask me to leave. I was laughing so damn hard.
Believe it or not, I was afraid the same thing when I was at the Exorcist. It was either treat it as a comedy or have it never sprayed down because it was frightening. And I said, hey, it's safer for me to laugh than to wind up in a straitjacket. So,
well, did you ever watch Repossessed?
Oh, the parody. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Oh my God, I was dying laughing during that because Linda Blair said they kept asking her how they could get her back to do an Exorcist movie. She said, "Get Leslie Nielsen."
Yes, make it the Airplane of horror movies.
Oh my God! He played Father May-I.
Yes.
He's like, Father May-I? Is that, no, you may not.
And to think, if you've ever seen Forbidden Planet, he was the serious romantic lead.
Yep.
And what else was it? Scarlet Pimpernel.
Yeah.
Back before he decided he was so much more comfortable doing comedy.
He was so much better at doing. I mean, not that he wasn't good at doing serious acting, but he had a knack for comedy.
Oh yeah, he had the gift. He had the timing. That was the thing. He had the timing. He could do it with a straight face.
Yeah, I started to say, do a straight face.
That's a challenge beyond belief right there to be handed some silly shit and be able to do it with a straight face.
Oh, good grief. Do you not ever see Jimmy Fallon and Horatio Sands when they were in skits together? They couldn't hold it together through the whole damn skit.
I know.
Of course, that was part of the fun. It was like, okay, when are they going to lose it? How far in are they going to lose it?
30 seconds, 45 seconds. Who's got the betting pool?
And Sands would lose it before Fallon most of the time. There was one or two that Fallon lost it first, but that was part of the fun of it. I mean, just
yeah. There's so many things where people have done something and it's been typecast for that particular show or movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden they stand it on its head, and for just a little while they do comedy. It's like you go through all of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and then you wind up with the episode where they're singing.
Yep. Well, it's sort of like Xena, and they started doing the War, What Is It Good For musical number.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God.
And they always had this special episode towards the end of the season where
Mhm.
it was complete parody of what they've been doing the entire time,
Oh yeah.
and
Well,
everybody just cut loose.
well, it was funny. A lot of the Hercules Legendary Journeys, Aeolus was where they had a lot of fun with, and then the salt and pepper haired guy.
Hmm.
Can't remember him. They had fun with him, and
The one that was
Bruce
in
Campbell.
the one that was in the oh bugger, what was that series? There were 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah.
You're talking about Maliger the Mighty,
Yes.
and he was in the Dollman movies.
Oh, okay. And then you had guy that played Joxer in
Yeah,
Xena.
yeah.
He
Well,
was a comedy element.
yeah, but then he went on to make the first 3 Spider-Man movies
Mm-hmm.
as a producer. Uh, yeah,
That wasn't Sam Raimi, was it?
yeah. It was Sam Raimi.
Oh man, I didn't know it was him.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. You weren't supposed to realize it was Sam.
And the funny thing is, I think him and Xena were an item for a long time.
Well, I don't know about an item. He had a crush on her for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like,
Hell,
"Go
who
away,
didn't?
go away, Joxer."
You know,
It's
I'm
actually
I'm
me
talking
this
about in
time,
real
Joxer.
life. I ain't talking about on the show.
Oh, real life. Well, no, that I never did know because I wasn't into prying into actors' private lives at that
Yeah,
time. So it's not one of those things that I would have learned anything about.
and I always thought Renee O'Connor was cute anyway.
Oh,
When it played Gabrielle,
oh, you didn't have to say that. Yeah, I knew who you were talking about.
and of course Hudson Leak, who played Callisto, she was hotter than a $2 pistol.
Hmm. Definitely a Saturday night special.
Any night special with her. And the funny
Oh,
thing is,
Lord.
she was one of those that you hear about. She wasn't that popular in school. She was kind of a nerd and picked on, and I'm like, good grief.
Are you blind?
Exactly.
Yeah, she was unpopular and picked on because she didn't put out.
Yeah, and she was probably more intellectual than a lot of them felt comfortable being around.
Right? Probably the smartest person in the room in any particular room.
Yep.
I've seen it a lot of times in real life with people that have a brain and aren't afraid to use it, and they're absolutely drop dead gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, insecure guys are going, "Oh, she's not that. She's not all that." Yeah, she is all that, you idiot.
Mm-hmm.
If you were worth her while, you'd find out.
Well, that's the thing about it. Some of those types that got picked on and had a brain, and maybe weren't at their peak level of hotness that they soon found out.
Mm-hmm.
A year or two later, or maybe even 3 to 5 years later.
Or 10 to 15, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they tend to gravitate towards guys that aren't necessarily hunks.
Hey, look at the women I've been married to.
Well,
I,
I,
I am not Tarzan, but
I
let
well,
me tell you, I have been made Lord of the Jungle more times than I have had hot dinners. Let me tell you.
I had a friend to say, uh, talking about girls, he said, well, for girl be interested in that guy, he's either got to be he's patting his wallet, his back, or he's doing this number here with his hand to donate a. They got that. They're either packing that, meaning the wallet's loaded with cash and all, and credit cards and whatnot, or he's packing that and meaning certain part of the anatomy's well endowed.
Well,
And he would
I
say,
can
so and so's working at such and such place, so you know it ain't the wallet.
Yeah, I can truthfully say it's never been the money and it's never been the well endowed. It's usually the sense of humor and being able to entertain.
If
And
you make a girl laugh, you're on your way.
yep. And the honesty and integrity.
Well, and not be condescending to him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, the honesty and the integrity. Yeah. You got to basically see and understand that someone is absolutely, if not your equal, your superior in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And that you are worthy of being a partner to that person because of the unique things about yourself.
Well, and to coincide with that, you've also, even though you may not be up to that level, you can't be so unsure and unconfident in yourself that you don't have any appeal to them at all, because you can make yourself look too unappealing and like, well, he's kind of this great guy, but he doesn't give himself enough credit, and he's all the time, if you don't have at least a little bit of confidence, they're not going to find that attractive if you're constantly doubting yourself and, not, taking a chance ever so often.
Yeah, the trick is to balance your self-confidence against an unearned self-confidence.
Yeah. You
You
confident, not arrogant.
Yeah, you can't present yourself as all that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not all that. But you can present yourself as, hey, this is what I am.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable with that. So let's have a conversation.
Yeah. And like I said, it's cool when you see guys that maybe weren't the most popular, but were good people, wind up with, cool gals that, are at least attractive and have a brain, or somebody, that somebody would lucky to be able to spend time with.
I have always been lucky in that the most special of the ladies who have consented to share part of their time with me have been extremely intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhat blind to the fact that I am nowhere in their league.
Yeah, but if you can make them laugh and you have enough intelligence, you can carry on a conversation that keeps them interested.
Yeah.
For a period of time. It doesn't necessarily have to be hours on end, but
Well, I always aimed for forever, and a very few times in my life I have achieved that. But forever doesn't last for always.
No,
it just lasts for a lifetime.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of like that line from Xanadu, the musical. Where the gods are talking among themselves and say, I can't remember if it was when the last time was, and I keep getting the two mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a while, or maybe it's forever.
Yep.
I don't remember the exact line because it's been a while since I've seen it.
Well,
I don't need to watch it because I'll watch it all the way through just because I get to look at Olivia Newton-John at one of her most beautiful points in her life. And, in addition to looking wonderful, I love the sound of her voice with the accent. And, of course, her singing is phenomenal. So,
you're not going to get any argument from me. Not at
and
all.
I'm just thinking, man, Michael Beck was such an idiot for letting that go.
Well, like I said, sometimes forever only lasts a lifetime.
Yeah.
And then you get lucky,
Yeah.
and there's another forever that lasts a lifetime.
Yeah.
And then you get lucky again. And sooner or later, you're going to run out of lifetimes, dude.
Yeah, well, that's why I keep cats around. So maybe one of those knives will rub off on me. On that note, I think I'm going to call it a night, Dan. It is after 2:00, and you need to get some rest at some point in time.
Yeah, I got to mow the yard tomorrow. My wife was upset that I didn't get a chance to do it today because I was lazy.
Well, we can't have your lovely wife upset at you. We want to keep you within her good graces.
Yes, because we did meet in a serial killer chat room, and she knows 72 different ways to make a body disappear without a trace.
And she's so sweet, nobody would ever suspect her.
Yes, I know. All it takes is the accent and a smile.
And she has both down pat.
She grew up with them both, let me tell you. I live in fear every day. No, I don't. I live in ecstasy every day because somehow or another I've managed to fool her into thinking that I'm worth her time.
Hey, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Hey, I don't know how long that illusion's going to last, but I'm going to milk it for all it's worth.
I don't blame you. Milk that baby dry.
She's absolutely the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, get you some rest and get ready to tackle the lawn tomorrow. Good luck with it.
Yep. Got to use the push mower and the zero turn. I love the zero turn. It's so much fun.
I bet.
It's like playing Tron. It really is. It's like playing Tron and mowing the lawn at the same time.
Instead of a light cycle, you have a lawn cycle.
That's it. Yeah. And I do leave traces behind me. All right.
Until next time.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much for your time. And I'm glad that you popped in. Now you popped out, and I'm still saying goodbye. So, yeah, these things, they happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have an obligation to complete here. We are part of the Rising Tide Network, and I do need to emphasize that Stupid O'Clock and Last Man Standing are not the sole representatives of the Rising Tide Network. There are dozens of shows every day of the week, every night of the week, for the most varied interests you could possibly imagine. There's something here for everybody. And just let me go ahead and play this, and I will be right back to give a proper end to the show. But no, do please check out everyone on the Rising Tide. Look at the schedule card. Listen to my descriptions of the different shows, and do check out anything at all that perks your interest. It will most likely be something that you will want to check out over and over again. I'll be right back. That's the wrong damn one. Wasn't supposed to be. Evidently, I uploaded the wrong thing. Should have been, but it didn't get. There should have been a voiceover there, and there wasn't. All right, well, I've got to go back to a different program and figure out what exactly I failed to do correctly this time. I did try. Please do check out the Rising Tide broadcast schedule. There are several things that would interest you. Let me see if I can pull this up to where I can read it. Sunday nights, you have Last Man Standing, although I am now back on, temporarily, back on rotating shifts. So they're not going to be as regular as they have been in the past. And we have Comics Chaos and Sass at 10 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you have Nevermind the Furthermore at 10 a.m., which is Brian K. Morris's tour de force of just how rapidly his mind can work. Monday evenings, we have Michaela Jade with Tidbits and Scribbles. And speaking of Michaela Jade, we have her morning motivations. Excuse me. It's been a long night. Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. She will give you a very, very short kick in the pants to help you get motivated to do what you need to do, whatever you need to do happens to be. The lady is sublime, let me tell you. She knows what she's talking about, and she is not above telling you to pull your thumb out and get busy. And you have her Tidbits and Scribbles at 7 p.m. on Monday nights. Tuesday, you've got TED Talks, which is usually either really, really interesting interviews with folks or really, really interesting bits and pieces about the creative process. Tuesday at 7 p.m., we have the Dastardly Dingoes podcast, which is brand new here, and it's on Facebook and YouTube. They have been going on their own previously outside of the Rising Tide, which is not a bad thing whatsoever. They've got a rich and honorable history of different podcasts and things that they have been doing. And it's one of those things where you pretty much just have to see it to believe it. At 8 p.m. on Tuesday, you've got Clever Title Pending, which is more Brian K. Morris madness and random awesomeness. And then we have here on, let's see, Wednesday, as I said, Nevermind the Furthermore at 10 a.m. On Wednesdays at about 7 p.m. You have the Truth Mongers on Facebook and YouTube, and that is one of the more fascinating shows. They cover the existence of different conspiracy theories, the possible reasons behind those, and whether or not they are ultimately believable. And it's just absolutely, it's mind-blowing every week, let me tell you. I think they might sometimes have to go every other week, but it's still worth the wait. It's still worth the wait. At 9 p.m. on Wednesdays every other week, you've got Armchair Rocket Science Updates, which gives you news in the world of SpaceX and Blue Origins and all the other independent space programs that are trying to put people out of this gravity well that we're trapped in. And like I said, that's updates. Armchair Rocket Science, whenever there's a rocket launch going on, they will air as much of it as they are allowed, usually on Facebook, because YouTube has a policy of if somebody else has got dibs on something, then you can't cover it yourself, but Facebook will let you cover it yourself. And if there are things that are not included in Facebook's exclusionary policy, or excuse me, YouTube's exclusionary policy, then Armchair Rocket Science will upload it to their YouTube channel. As long as they don't get in trouble, that's the big thing. Let's see, Thursday at 10 a.m. We have been having TED Talks timepieces. TED is about to take a break from that and go to a totally brand new program, which should be happening, I believe, early evening on Fridays, as I recall. When I get the information in print so that I don't make a mistake, I will update the schedule card here. Also on Thursdays, you have Comic Book Spectrum, which is Brian K. Morris and 3 other very, very knowledgeable comic book collectors, and some of them are comic book creators, who will tell you some of the most fascinating facts you've ever heard in your life about different comics, stuff that's coming out, indie comics that you may never have heard of before, and just general news and facts and speculations and fun. Believe me, it's fun. Then at 8:00 p.m. you have Creative as Hale, which is Amy Hale's almost indescribable but inimitable program about being creative and what you may do and things that people have done, and just Amy's just one of those people. It's very, very hard to describe. She's just she's so there. She's so, it's like I said, it's really, really hard to describe. It's so much fun, and it covers such wide territory. I really hate to do it an injustice by trying to sum it up. And then Thursday night at 9:00, like tonight, you have Stupid O'Clock with Joe Dog and me and John and several other people that might show up from one week to another. If we're lucky, Skunk's there. And it's just basically a convention conversation happening either after hours or in between panels or on the last day, where a bunch of folks get together and just talk about everything and anything under the sun. And after that, Thursday, 11 p.m. is my own Last Man Standing, which I am sorry to say has been pretty much put on an irregular schedule because of the place where I work having to put me back on rotating shifts rather than my normal daytime only job, so that new people can be trained for a job that I know how to do. And we've lost a couple of folks. Somebody got promoted, somebody else got fired. Now we're down to the 2 people that are normally in the job and me, who is not normally in the job, but in a job parallel to it, having to cover for everyone and having to train the folks that have been awarded the job, and that's about as detailed as I want to go on that. But yeah, that's why Last Man Standing is not strictly clockwork anymore. It will be again in the near future. Let's hope by Christmas or thereabouts it'll come back. On Friday, another episode of Never Mind the Furthermore, which, is Brian K. Morris's daytime 10 a.m. show, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Then in evening, we have Drinking with the Davies, which is Ted and Christine Davies' tutorials on classic cocktails and fancy dining drinks. And I'm sure that they could explain it much better than me, but I'm the one that's here on the spot. It's really, really entertaining. Christine will look up all kinds of history about whatever drink it is that they're going to be making that night. And she and Ted will whip up whatever it happens to be between the two of them and sample it and tell you whether or not it's actually a tasty drink or skunk water, which is rare. Rarely ever have run into something that was not palatable. Friday nights at 8 p.m., the Historical Fencing Guild with Nick Cockert. Now, I got to tell you, Nick's one of those fascinating people who knows so much about so many things. And he has, he's been teaching and demonstrating the art of swordplay and several other self-defense methods from early on in our history, such as the fighting axe and I can't remember what the third one was. Anyway, if you never experienced Nick Cockert, now's your chance. On Saturday at 10 p.m., we have From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, which is Joe D. McPhee's analysis and critiques of various comic books, past, present, and future. And Joe is just one of those. He's like an encyclopedia. It's just he knows exactly what he's talking about, and he makes everything just this grab your attention interesting. Even if you don't particularly like that specific comic, he will find a way to earn your interest. He really will. He's fantastic. He's fantastic. And then again, 11 p.m. on Saturday nights, there is another Stupid O'Clock, and that's Joe Dog and the rest of us just having fun and talking about anything that crosses our minds. And if you're lucky and I'm not having to work day shift the next day or night shift that night, there'll be the Sunday night, 1 a.m. Last Man Standing. Now, let me go down here to the bottom of the page. And as I said, you've got the morning motivations with Michaela Jade, Monday through Friday, about 6 in the morning. She does this when she wakes up and she's on her way to work. And then Armchair Rocket Science, that will air something whenever launches are scheduled by NASA, SpaceX, Blue Origin, or anybody else that is qualified to toss a rocket. and it's rare, really, really good coverage and analysis, actually. Your dog will tell you what's going on, who's doing it, and what their history of being in the industry has been able to perform. And okay, and we also have Late Night with Keisha Acuff of Acuff Creations. It's roughly at midnight, roughly once a week, as and when she feels up to it, because she's just had some surgery here lately and she's in recovery. And sometimes she doesn't really feel up to it, and sometimes she will go for it and entertain you for quite a lot longer than what you would think. But she covers not only whatever is on her mind, but what is in her garden and what her chickens have done, and well, let's just say she's a domestic goddess and leave it at that. She's much more than anything that I could say, but you'd have to witness it to be able to figure out what I'm talking about. So check her Acuff Creations page on YouTube for updates, and you'll find out. Just watch the back catalog and stuff. Everything is pretty much cool. The Rising Tide has this policy, has this philosophy that a rising tide raises all ships. So we not only publicize each other, but we, as often as possible, will tune in and watch each other's programs and offer gentle critiques as to how we could improve one thing or another. And you're invited to do that too, and you're invited to come into the audience participation part of any and all shows and give your opinion as well. One caveat there: don't pop into somebody's show and say, "Give me a live link so I can come in and talk," if we don't know who you are. It's like, I'm Jack the Ripper. Give me a knife and I'll come in and talk to you. We have no idea what you're going to do when you get there. So we generally do not invite someone into the show, although there are several links to where you can comment on stuff, and we will read your comments and engage you in a discussion through the comments section. But don't ask to come in to a live show if we don't know who you are, and we have no reason to trust you not to be a complete nutter. Not that we have anything against people who are crazy, because we're doing these shows. We're obviously crazy ourselves, but we just want to make sure that you're a compatible brand of crazy with us, and not somebody who's going to go off on a rant about politics that mean nothing in context with what the show's about, or well, let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. There are very few forbidden topics on any of our programs, but trying to shove a belief system down somebody else's throat is one of those things that none of us really are willing to put up with. So if you've got your particular form of madness includes trying to convince everybody else that you are the only true authority on whatever that particular insanity has to be, chances are you'd be better off making your own show, which is very easy. You just go on StreamYard and you create an account and you start recording and you start talking and you invite people that are compatible with your belief system and invite guests that are compatible and incompatible with your belief system and let them argue on their own. And you have your own show. It just won't be Rising Tide unless you actually wind up being interesting enough and fair enough and well mannered enough. And that's a low bar to hurdle right there. To fit in with the rest of the group, and none of us have a political axe to grind. I'll tell you that right now. That's one of the reasons why we try not to talk politics on our shows. What we are interested in is comics, literature, different movies and TV shows and other forms of entertainment, music, and it's just not one of those things where we're trying to persuade anybody that they need to listen to political party. If that's your deal, then good night, Irene. You know, do your own thing someplace else. So, other than that, you know, and this is a really long commercial that shouldn't be necessary because I did a voiceover for this, and evidently I screwed up the recording, so I'll have to do it over again in less of a boring detail than I'm doing right now. So let's see. Let's oh yeah. Here we go. In any case, there will not be a last man standing Saturday night. What's the date? Saturday night. The 25th. There will not be a last man standing Saturday, the 25th of September, because I have to be at work Sunday, the 26th at 6 a.m. So I can't stay up all night like I usually do for this sort of thing. There will be a stupid o'clock starting at 11 p.m. on Saturday night. So you're more than welcome to tune into that and see if we're your cup of tea or not. So, there we go. But oh, I look really disheveled at the moment, don't I? Oh well. Could you really use a hairbrush? Good night. And hope it didn't bore you too much for the last 10 or 15 minutes trying to read off the schedule. It's because I messed up the voiceover on the advert that I did, so I'll have to redo that. And hopefully I'll have that done by Saturday night. It'll be okay. In any case, thank you very much for all your time and attention. Well, really, oh, somebody gave us a angry. Oh, well, I'm sorry about that. Several people gave us a thumbs up. And somebody is still watching me jabber on here, as hideous as I look in person. And like I said, I could use a hairbrush here, but not going to happen while I've got headphones on. I wish I knew why somebody gave us an angry face. I'm terribly sorry. Didn't mean to offend, but sometimes I do without meaning to, and it's because I'm stupid. It's my only excuse. If I upset you, it's because I'm stupid, insensitive, and an uncivilized clod. So, mea culpa. It's my fault. But let's see here. It's about time I shut up and let the end credits roll.